Welcome to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity, session 93, the 3rd of May 2021. I am Ryan, the GM, and here are the players.
Oh, I'm first, aren't I? Hello, I am Colin. I will be playing Lyco Quint. He is your resident sneaky spooky, altogether space cop coast to coast.
Hello,
Hello.
I am Nico, and I'm playing Zora, the spooky, all-together cookie.
Is he?
He's kind of cookie.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Don't know about spooky. I mean, dark edgelord armor.
Big lizard, that's pretty spooky. If I saw that IRL, I'd be spooked.
First of all was Zora's personality.
I stand by my statement. Vice Captain.
Admiral.
Captain Admiral, yes.
Greetings, I'm Alex. I'll be playing Weird, the android mechanic, the brains behind this operation, the secret communist agitator. And, yeah.
Brains, spines, and legs of the operation.
And
That was
arms.
an accurate introduction, I'd say as
Yep.
well.
Nothing suspicious here.
Nothing to see here. Speaking of nothing to see, hi, I'm Callum, and I'll be playing Zig, the mystical space rat from the sun who is mystical and Yusoki and sun resider.
Fair, yeah. Quite like that as a title, the Sun Resider.
Winters in the sun.
Resider of the sun.
For tax reasons.
Yeah, Winters in the Sun, that's good.
Winters in the Sun would be a good name for a book. If that isn't already like a sci-fi book, possibly a YA sci-fi book about a climate apocalypse on Mars, then
I first
will
wrote it
be
like
by the
this,
time
and I
this
lo-
stream's.
and I wanted to keep the spelling error in, because when I typed it, I just immediately fell in love with it.
Winteris. Oh, you like the Wateries.
Yes, the Wateres. He Winteres in the sun. Okay. So, this game. What do you just remember from last time?
Oof. So, Friday, there's no need.
No,
That's
was
good.
nice.
Neither is Weird.
There's Weird. No, Weird's good.
Wait, that's good. Right, Friday's no deed. Fuck, what else am, please? Help me here.
We talked a lot. We met Bone Stage / not Bone Stage. He indicated that
Oh, yeah.
Ramasethu had a little promotion.
That's true.
True
What
that.
else did we do?
Had
I
a good
completed
nap.
my goal and forgot to make a new one because I couldn't think of it.
We done a
Weird
lot
prediction,
last
Weird.
session. I remember that. I remember it was a lucrative session.
Weird
Yes.
sorted the vest
The fire.
I
safeguard.
completed goals. Yep.
Replaced the vest safeguard protocols.
Yep.
Like,
My secret communist protocols.
Yep. All your ship are belong to us. Yep.
Because really, that's the problem with fantasy role-playing games. It's not enough class warfare.
True that.
True.
That's what the expansion book to Dungeon World was called there. The kind of class warfare. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah. Oh, this isn't a political podcast.
Oh dear. Right, so there was blood test mentioned with Calva way in the background of the game. That might have been the session before. Clyde has survived, or it didn't happen. Shrug.
Didn't seem to have died. Yeah.
Weird replaced Vesk override with the weird override. Snyder
better.
broke. Yeah, Snyder broke Query's nose.
Which is also the better.
So he is quote unquote Bonnie Fingers, not a Bone Sage.
Sindel, yeah. He stepped away from his duties to focus on his weird chicken legs that he doesn't have with him.
Yeah, he's focusing on himself for a bit. Some self-care for Sindel, yeah.
Hashtag self-care.
I know it was meant to happen last session. My brain is bleh.
So
We talked a lot. There was a lot of
There was a
talking.
lot of talking.
Lyco and Sindel had a big chat about the electroencephalon and Lyco's
And
involvement.
He basically said, yeah, I did that. But that was pretty much that.
Yeah.
Not quite in so many words.
Yeah, the long
More
and short of it was definitely
Many more words, in fact. But
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely discussed his he was very grateful to you though, Lyco, as well, right? There was definitely a lot of gratitude he had
as
for
it
you.
fucking should be.
I know, right? He also let you know that he was the reason you didn't die the first time, as well, which made you
You're
pariah.
the chosen one.
Yep.
And
That meant to sound more impressive than
I
it
am
was,
the
my voice just
cop who,
betrayed me.
unlived.
yeah. And then we had Weird working with Edgar for a little bit. That then became Alice involved. That then became Zig involved, which is leading us to a drift bomb sonar.
Oh, I forgot
yes.
the drift bomb.
Yes.
I forgot the
yeah,
drift bomb squad. I knew there was some fucking psycho shit going on.
Because remember Zig got the phone call from Edgar before, because he was following Query around the ship who'd stormed off out of the recovery
Yes,
room.
because you two were going to violate his brain.
Mm-hmm.
Only slightly.
Yep, they're going to use Thanida to try and rip the information from his brain. Lovely
I had
things.
ethical questions about that, but
We, yeah. So did Thanida.
Callum didn't. To
Yeah.
be fair, I want to be completely open here. Callum did not have ethical issues with this situation.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Zig.
Yeah, I went to put something in a coma. I forgot about that. I mean, I was cool with that, to be honest with you. I mean, that's why I did it, I suppose. I mean, but
Risk, you know.
no, probably not even as a person, right? I get that choice. I'd probably do it, man.
Wow.
Probably.
Wow.
I mean,
And
one
there
little
you
long
were on
sleep.
your high horse
One-
saying, I'd feel too bad being a bad guy.
One,
Aw.
right, that's what I
We
mean. Like,
discussed the whole not good guys thing, right?
like, like, that's one long sleep for a universe, right? That's just the way I see it, right? Like, it's not like I'm killing the man. It's just an extended sleep. Nah, I mean, it's pretty brutal, but it's the universe. It's the universe, right?
Yeah, sure.
Universe got to do what universe got to do.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Like, what could possibly? I mean, you've probably got diplomatic immunity again, right? So you're probably fine. Don't know how that works. You'd need to take that up with Demogesh actually to see if that's been reinstated. So I don't know. We'll find out how that goes. Right. So
You want to run over someone? You
I
know?
would do it again.
Alright, let's have a look at the goals then, shall we? And the goals so far are
Find out what Slang Crystal does.
Yep.
There's a very nice light blue.
Yeah, weird.
I've got to get my business off the ground.
Zig.
Deliver solar egg to solar monastery.
Oh yeah, Zig had a nap because of Sindale. Yeah,
Zig
Oh
had-
yeah.
that was good.
Yeah.
That was
Just
actually very enjoyable. For Zig.
Yeah, that was
He
good.
feels just a little bit fresh comparative to how he was before. A little more calm.
And then
At
obviously
ease. Maybe
you
not at ease. Yeah, at ease. That was a lie. I lied.
You woke up and spoke to Cindy and he was like, maybe you should take the egg this time without getting lost. You know,
Yeah.
some very direct life advice there. We've also got then deliver Edgar to Triaxis, discover what happened to Cece, conclude the Kivalari case, speak with Mogesh on the situation on Nocturne, probably on somewhere, gain useful MO info. So there we have it, folks. There are our goals. So, let us open with what is Zora and Lyco up to?
Oof,
That's-
what was
Let's open with
So,
Zora. Where are you, Zora? First of all, right? Because you were last seen with Thanira in the pool.
okay. I'll probably go out the pool. Probably wiped myself off a bit.
So you had nothing
Probably.
you needed to say to the Queen, like one-on-one or anything like that, captain to captain, as it were.
Sorry.
Cheek to cheek.
Do you have it? One
I
I
don't
want to
know.
say.
I'm just asking. This wasn't like a leading question.
No,
This was just a.
I'm not thinking. I'm not asking myself that question.
Okay.
I don't think so. Not really. Like other than, I mean, no, because I didn't even experience the death.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, no, not really. Like,
It's okay. Yeah. So you get yourself out the pool, dry off. Where'd you
I'll
go?
probably go check up on fucking query situation, sick, and make sure that
Mhm.
he's not try run away with one of my shuttles. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yep. No worries.
Like-
So you head towards the shuttle bay, and I think you'll
Yeah,
probably bump into Zig on the way then. So Zig, what were you doing after you were asked to go work on the drift bomb? Because I remember you were following Query, so I think.
Yeah, and then I got the phone call.
Mhm.
Stopped in my tracks.
Yeah.
I think Zig firstly would have gone to check check on the egg in Zig fashion. And then I guess get himself ready to head over to the other ship.
Okay. So I think
Like maybe in his
maybe you're quite near the room. Like maybe that's where you stop when you get the phone call. Was in like the lounge with the egg that's just sat there in the middle,
okay, yeah.
where the table once was in the middle of the room, and then like the kind of coffee table thing. Because I think Lyko and Sandel went to the dining room. I think that's where
Yeah,
they
we
went to.
went to the general.
Mhm. Yeah.
theory.
So yeah, Lyko, what are you up to with Cindy? What's the plan?
That's a good question. We'd kind of wrapped up a
Mhm.
bit, hadn't we?
Because I mean, it sounds like you are almost all about to be in the same room at this point, except weird. So that's exciting.
I think in that case, for dramatic reasons, Lyko will choose to remain in that room. Maybe have another coffee. Vicariously, I'm having a coffee, but I've already had enough today.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll sort of do that, and Cindy can kind of just do what he wants. Like, I don't want to dismiss him; that would feel
Yeah.
rude. But
Yeah, I think he's just probably sitting with that glass of water that he got. Remember?
fair. I think if there's been like a sort of break, I'll maybe ask him something like to the effect of what he's, what he's up to. Not in that way, but like I'll see if I can phrase it. It's like, so what's next for you?
There's just like a big grin as he's kind of like he's both of his hands are on either side of the glass as he's staring kind of at it. After he's taken a sip of it, and then he kind of just grins widely down at the glass, and he kind of just turns his head up at you, and his grin drops, and he says, "There is a lot to do." Nods like, monk-like.
Okay.
And there's like maybe a moment that passes, and he looks at you, and he kind of lifts the glass and kind of like tilts it towards you and sets it back down and says, "And for you?"
Triaxis for us.
He kind of just nods, as if like, almost like he's nursing the drink that he's got, even though,
Even though it's war.
yeah. And then he kind of just like nods over it. He goes, "And why?"
It's somewhat complicated. There are a number of players in this ongoing game that'll be aligning on Triaxis, and one of them we may have some concerns about. The How much does he know about Query? I'm sure he's aware of Query, right?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I actually don't know the answer to that right now. Does anybody know the answer to that?
I think we did. I can't remember. Like, I don't even know if we spoke about.
I
Like,
think
there
I have talked
couple
about the idea that we kind of know
episodes.
stuff about how dangerous our glass is because of other universal stuff.
I don't think anything's.
Extra
You
universal
haven't. I
stuff.
don't think you have said to Cinderella because obviously I know that Zig hasn't mind linked or anything with them, so that's usually how you catch people.
Oh yeah.
But no, I don't think you have actually talked too much about the specifics. You've definitely gave them very general information to catch them up on some things, but nothing. Your exposure to Cinderella's always been like of convenience. Usually, he's never just hung out.
Yeah, because he's not really a guy that you just hang out with. He mostly just does weird things and
Yeah.
doesn't properly answer questions. So I think I'll probably try and explain a bit, but without giving too much away. So the an individual who was able to give us some important information because of his unique circumstances is he may have a high price in his head, and one of the particular reasons for that, the head of the Aspis Consortium or Corporation.
God, now you've said it. Consortium, I think.
Head of Aspis, fuck it. The head of Aspis, Emma O. Narakis, is very interested in acquiring it. So
Consortium, yes.
Consortium, yeah. So we are a scratch. Remember the Breervath?
He shudders at that, and then
It.
the glass shatters.
Ooh, okay.
He just looks down like he's even just kind of, not in like a startled way or anything. He shudders, the glass shatters, and he just looks down like, oh.
Surprised at least.
He looks and he goes, yes, hard to forget the Breervath.
This one was a high-ranking employee of the consortium. That relationship ended poorly, and he seems to be seeking redress. It would probably be beneficial for us in the short term, at least, if he were able to get what he wants. So
Sindel is looking at his hand and he's
there.
picking bits of glass out of his hand, and he is bleeding.
Okay.
And he's just like picking bits out of his hand, and he looks up.
Yeah,
and goes,
you may want to be more careful with glass now.
And he just looks at his hand as if somewhere between confused and angry, and looks up at you, and he just like nods sagely, and then says and points at his hand, and as if showing you his hand and showing you the cuts, and goes,
Yeah.
"How does one normally deal with this inconvenience?"
And the look sort of like relatively shallow.
Yeah, like it's just like as if somebody's crushed a glass too quickly and it has just cut his hand.
Well, give me a second, and I assume there's some sort of like
a first aid box or something.
cloth or even just just
Yeah.
like first aid kit. I would just like give him a quick wrap around the hand or something like that, like because it's not going to be unclean, so it shouldn't really need tended. I wouldn't think, but actually, you know what? Lyko will take him to the sink first. Like, I assume there's a sink somewhere nearby.
Yeah, he's head there. He just like follows.
Yeah, just like, stand up and sort of gesture to him to follow me. You're probably gonna want to wash your hands off just in case infection. In my experience,
So you were saying the water is more dangerous than the glass? I feel my hands are better attached.
It depends what the glass has been in contact with, but generally speaking, you wanna wash those hands.
He nods.
We're pretty resistant to infections, I've found, and generally most diseases, but resistant isn't immune. So you're gonna have to get used to being vulnerable to some of the things that the living are.
Just smiles at you when you say that.
Yeah, that's a sign of success for him.
Yeah, right. It's literally a gold star in his
And
book.
opening the first aid kit. Once you have thoroughly rinsed off, we'll quickly wrap a bandage round. You should only have to keep it on for a few hours. Wouldn't seal themselves if they're not too deep, obviously.
Just puts his hand under like the auto sync, whatever, and then it comes on, and he just kind of stares at it for a bit, and just holding his hand under the water, and then I think after a while you probably have to tell him, that's enough.
You're probably fine now.
He just pivots like at the waist and just moves round and holds the hand in front of you.
Yeah, I suppose if there's like a cloth or anything, we'll just sort of give it a quick pat down, dispose of the cloth because blood. And yeah, like just give his hand a very quick rudimentary bandage. As I say, this will heal quickly. But yeah, you're gonna need to be a little bit more careful these days.
Yes, so it seems. And he just looks at his hand with a bandage on it now. He kind of compares it to the other one that he's got. Do you have another bandage?
I just like open the kit again and pass it over to him.
Yeah, and he just goes back and he just starts to wrap. Just starts wrapping the glass pieces in it.
Okay.
And he just like pats it and then starts talking to the pile of broken glass in the bandage. Going, "You will be all right in a couple of hours."
The glass is the glass doesn't really share the regenerative properties of living beings, but on the other hand, the glass is probably not too worried about that. Come on, we'll sit back down. I'm gonna finish my coffee.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say hello to Wee Coulter. Thank you for joining us, buddy. Nice to see you. And
Hello.
Yeah.
It's very weird talking to him like a person rather than a really awkward plot device.
Right, Sindale? Yeah. Not you, Scott. Sindale.
Not you. Not yet, anyway.
If you want to be an awkward plot device, though, Scott, you're more than welcome to be.
Some of my best friends are awkward plot devices.
But yeah, like he's mostly just pleased with how all that's went because, like you said, right, he is a product of his own successes now, right?
Yeah.
Like being this vulnerable is kind of part of the deal. By being living again. I think he just mostly kind of like mulls that over. And I think by this point, I would say that Zora and Zig have definitely like caught up with each other. As Zig, you're with the egg in the lounge. That's probably where Zora catches up as you see him walking out, toweling himself off.
Okay. So what's query?
Funny thing is that the guys on the other ship gave me a call, and I looked down for a second and looked up, and he was gone. Like, I'm sure he's not gone, just not where I can see him.
I'd probably roll his eyes.
They scream.
Ferociously, probably.
I was gonna say just Godzilla noises here.
Real official. That's how you write it out.
I'm gonna go check to see he's no still Finaida's shuttle because you're explaining that, and then I'm leaving. It's nothing to do with the fact it's your fault. It's just the fact that she won't break your legs, and then I'll leave again. Yeah.
Seems. Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
And then I guess Zig would probably head towards the shuttle bay anyway.
Yeah. So are you going that way too, or where were you going?
Yes, shuttle bay.
Yeah.
Make sure he's not taking our shuttle.
Yeah, you both head down to the shuttle bay. It's not super far from the lounge area, since that's like one of the main like focal points of the ship, and or like hub areas of the ship anyway. You head down there, and nope, shuttle's there. Doesn't seem to be
Good.
anything else there. You can obviously see in the shuttle because, mostly glass. Yeah, so unless he's really, really good at hiding. No, he's not in here.
Good. Good. Right. Well, I'm at ease. Life is good now.
I'm gonna make an out of character suggestion here.
Mhm.
Have you tried asking like the onboard computers? Because you probably have some degree of access.
Remember, he unlocked it, remember, the override when you were looking
Yeah.
for... So Zora unlocked the override when you were looking...
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
You did exactly this.
Right, I'll go to the computer then, and I'll start doing like one button, one finger, button pressing.
So Zig, you just see the captain, or the admiral, I should say, like bring up the holo interface and just starts pushing buttons. And yeah. Oh. Oh my. Oh my.
Right.
But yeah. And then you've got your
Excuse
single
me?
claw typing as you go. And then what are you looking for? What's the plan? What is it you want the computers to do?
I want to find the location of Query on the ship.
Okay. Do you wanna give me a computer's roll?
just going to happen.
Mostly because it's the first roll of the session. Let's
I know.
you know.
Right. Just waiting for my character sheet to actually load. Computers. Yeah. So I'm talking about. That's a success, right?
9, yep, perfect. So, yeah, you bring up the computer interface. It probably just takes you a while to do this, as Zig just either watches on in frustration or leaves. And you eventually bring up the life signs tab again, and there is a... God, who's actually on board this fucking ship right now? So, like, you've got a life sign down in the recovery area, the pool area. You've got 2 life signs in the shuttle bay. You've got 2 life signs, because I can say that now, in the dining room, and there's a life sign in the bridge.
Right. Was there only one instance of a single life form?
Say that where?
Was there only one instance of a single life form there? Was it all just like pairs and then just one on the bridge?
No, because there was 1 in the recovery area, 1 in the bridge, and then you've got 2 in the dining area and 2 in the shuttle bay.
Right. So
Have you tried shouting?
Query! Come out! Don't
That won't worry.
It's like, what
Well,
are you doing while the captain has taken ages to bring up the life signs detector and also is now just shouting like an old maid?
Yeah, Zig's just going to
Back away slowly.
Joy?
permission to leave and go to the other ship, Captain. Admiral, please.
Sure.
And away he goes.
Remember, so I'm just going to point this out for you, Cadmiral. You'd probably want to assign somebody on the other ship to come pick him up. Because obviously this is your Flare's shuttle, which means if it goes away, you're stuck on this shuttle.
You can fly, right?
And you just... The only thing is it would take a long ass time to get there.
Yeah, it's going to take ages.
Yeah, true. Right. So I need be better pick up.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'll send. Is it only weirdest? It was only weirdest on their ship, right?
Edgar, Finn, Alice, and I think that's it. Unless I've totally forgot somebody, but I think that's the list of people that are on that ship.
I'll send weird a text and it's like, can you give or get somebody to get Zig a pick up?
Remember, you've got mind phones.
True.
Well, some of us.
Yeah.
We are dead.
Are you doing this by mind phone?
Yeah. I was just like, anyway, get Zig a pick up. In fact, actually, was it a pick up? because really once I sort the query situation out, we're probably all going to be going to the final word, right?
Well, that's up to you. You're the captain. Like, you're in charge. Like, you can just tell everybody, pack up your shit and let's leave.
I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, I don't think anybody else has got any reason to be here, right?
Nope. Remember, you just wanted to check in with Anida. That's why he's met here on the way to Traxxas. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, come get us a pickup.
I'll look around to the group and say, well, the captain is requesting a pickup.
I think as you've said that, Zora, like in mind speak. So we'll pause there and we'll go to obviously Weird's conversation on the final hour in a second. I think obviously in the dining room, obviously Sindel stops talking to the cup, Lyko, and just stares at it for a second and almost zones out. And Zora and Weird and Zig hear
Hearing a
on
lot of people
microphones.
stuffing, and not a lot of you. So wait a second.
Okay, so anyway, hopefully that's better. But yeah, all good. So I was saying that while you were looking at him talk to the cup, the broken pieces of the cup, he zones out for a second, and obviously the people on the mind phone hear Sindel saying, "If you require transportation, I can send you elsewhere. Unless you
He can.
require elevation, in which case, no." And the reply in mind phone?
I mean, you guys have to deal with them. I can't hear that.
I mean, it's definitely more efficient, but can you give us a little bit?
What was that?
A little bit?
A little bit of it?
Can you give us a little bit? Because I go speak to Finida first.
A bit of time, yes.
Yeah.
Time,
I mean,
yes. You may have time.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, and I'd probably go towards Finida because that makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think in the dining room, Cinder looks back up at you. So if you were talking to him saying, "Oh, yeah, the cups don't heal like people heal because they're not living things," he goes, "It seems like you are departing."
Ha. Okay.
It's really a terrifying phrase for him to say just out of the blue. Actually, now that I think
Yeah.
about it. The ship.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, you got through with the I understand. I'll go and find the captain. Where are you going? Are you staying here?
He looks around and then looks back at the bandage wrapped cup. He goes, "I have some things to attend to here."
Okay.
Nods. Just sitting in the chair at the table, just looking at this broken pile.
I'm gonna try not to think about what that could possibly mean. I'm just gonna assume he means he's gonna fix the cup, and then I'm gonna. And Lyko's consciously choosing to assume he means to fix the cup, and Lyko's gonna go and find the captain admiral.
Yeah, and I
And
think
probably
obviously,
call him the captain admiral over comms.
well, I think as you leave and head into the lounge area from the dining area, you probably do bump into the captain leaving the shuttle bay area into the lounge area
Yeah,
before he
excellent.
goes looking for
Captain,
Finida.
Captain Admiral.
And I think as you say that, you just hear the voice of Finida say "Captain and Admiral" as she's toweling herself off with her nice, wet, glistening hair.
Captain's fine.
Thank you, she says. And
I think I look at her for a second and like, are you ever not bathing?
She just grins. I think, or slightly toothy grin that she's got. As she's like, I don't know, drying off her below the knees by this point. With the towel, she just does that thing where she looks up at you, just grins, and then says, "This sounded important." Throws the towel over her shoulder.
I guess we're departing.
Yeah, but I wanted to clear with Finida first. What do you want us to do with query? Are you cool with keeping my holiday on the now? Or do you want us to show for a month of our ship?
If it's my choice, and she just looks to the airlock.
I mean, I would nod. No, we can't think like that.
She rolls her eyes, slightly mocking, disappointed. Yeah. And she said, "No, that's fine. If I have to detain him here, I will. I will try not to break every bone he has."
I appreciate it.
It would be. I understand that you may feel that he is holding back some information, which may or may not be the case, but it would be a
You're
poor
perfectly
idea.
correct. She smiles, walks forward, and puts like a hand on your shoulder and smiles at you warmly. Goes, turns to Zora. "This is your chief of security, after all. He should take direct custody." She pats you on the back once and walks away with the towel.
Which is sort of what I was getting to as far as the security aspect goes. Us taking him with us at the moment would be delivering him directly to the hands of someone we probably should avoid delivering him directly into the hands of.
Which is why I appreciate the Finiders willing to take custody of him at this moment in time.
You just hear
Good.
"Fine" from like down the corridor. He shouts back.
Thumbs up. It's probably doesn't see it.
Yeah, she does not see
Thumbs
that
up.
though.
Glad you're intact. Are we leaving then?
I guess so. How does this work?
I like how you're saying, "How does this work?" And I don't know if like
Remember, I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you're oh yeah, that's right. You're not in the. We're going to fix that.
it's so awkward because obviously you could reset it now, but you wouldn't have Weird.
I know we could have reset it when he was here, but he's not.
And if
here
you reset
anywhere.
it, well, no, because I don't think Weird was here when Zig and Snyder came back. Were they? Didn't Weird go back to the? Or did you stay? I can't remember the exact timeline.
Like, didn't he get teleported over with everybody in the room? Sort of idea. Was there
I think
something
you're right.
missing?
No, I think you're right there. I think you are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is correct. Because it just depends if you want to keep Sindel and or like maybe Thanida in the loop.
He's definitely a handyman
Mm.
to have on Brain Call, but
Mhm.
so is Lyko.
Yeah. I'd like
Mhm.
Lyko's a very handy man.
Because it's a nice emergency channel to have access to, isn't it, for you guys?
Maybe if we just ask him to maybe hop out the ship for a quick sec, maybe he'll be cool with it.
I also could probably just ask him to go. Like, I don't know if he's got like as Lyko has probably experienced, he probably doesn't have a great deal on his schedule.
Didn't know if he had something to do with it. Some things to do with. I'm pretty
He
sure
seems to
that's
be leisurely about it, though.
Oh,
There wasn't. Here's the thing you needed. Goodbye. Teleports away mysteriously, like he normally
Yeah.
does. So, aye.
okay.
It's up to you.
I guess. Fucking. Would I even ask the question? It comes to that. God damn it to be handy in a meta. But would I even ask the question?
Well,
Yeah.
why don't you lead in with a Sindel's offer, and then it gives Lyko an excuse to throw in Sindel's usefulness. There you go. That's a way to skirt around the meta of you asking.
Right. So do we go see Sindel now? Do we need to touch on Sindel? How does this work? I was saying my brain speak.
The deal is. Well, you remember if you're saying it in Brainspeak, you're not getting it to me.
I know. I was saying it out loud, and then I realised that.
The last bit you sort of switched to Brainspeak. Okay.
Yeah. The last part I said when I said Sindel.
So, like, I love from Lyko's point of view. He's got the captain going, "How does this even mysteriously looks off to the side?" As you stop talking.
I think I follow. He wants Sindel to transport us like he did earlier with Weird.
Oh well, of course it doesn't need to be, but everybody go to Sindel. Where was Sindel? I would say Lyko.
He's just over there.
Cool.
Go back into the dining area. He's literally just in the next room behind this one. Yeah.
Sindel, the captain wanted your Captain Admiral wanted your assistance with something.
I think Snyder's like sat next to him and just stares at everybody with like very wide thank God user here eyes.
Oh,
And
had
Sindel
you
is
two
like
not met?
Sindel is just explaining like what happened to the cup to her. Is that the part? That is when we applied the bandages.
This is Sindel. He is adjusting to a degree of mortality.
She nods and stands up at that point and then just goes, I'll be on the bridge. And nods to everybody.
Thumbs up.
Did you wish
her a
me
nod.
to prepare query for a transportation, or am I to retain custody of him? She looks between you and Lyko for that answer, Zora.
I would look to Lyko for now here.
If you are willing, I would very much appreciate it.
She
And
nods and she's
possibly
like,
buy you
that's fine.
flowers.
She smiles and she goes, how lovely. And then I'd like to say that she could name a very rare fucking elven flower that probably doesn't exist anymore. And she does, I just don't have a name for it.
Okay,
We'll
Elflora.
Elfsterberry.
I will be sure to look that up.
The elfsterberry plant. But yeah, she'll name something like that, and yeah, it'll be like a really old breed. And then yeah, she just kind of like nods and goes, "Well, it's been yep." She walks away towards the bridge.
It has been, hasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Sandale just looks at the cup and just goes, "What a day!"
So here's the thing, right? Having you in the brain speak, then they would point to your seat in the talk.
He just looks at you and he holds out his hand with a bandage on it and points at it.
It's pretty.
It is inconvenient. And he points at the bandage and then points at your head.
Yeah, agreed. So yeah, I have been able to speak to you. It's pretty convenient, but problem is we can't speak to Lyko. But having you both would be like super convenient. Could you come to our ship?
Lyko, Zora says he is unable to speak to you.
He means using the mental thing. He wasn't being sufficiently literal.
Now like raises an eyebrow, or like where an eyebrow would be, and then says, "Ah, you are no longer part of the loop." He nods.
I nod.
I've been nodding.
Yeah, so we're all nodding now. Yep. I like the idea that the camera just does that thing where the three of them are nodding, it zooms out a little bit and Zig is now in shot and nods. Like just during this time you followed in. Which I like. And I think Sandel says, "Are you ready to depart?"
Yeah, we're ready to depart. What about the loop?
He tilts his head as if listening.
Would you be okay with re-establishing the loop, but with Lyko? But we need Weird here as well.
You want this done now?
I mean, probably the most convenient time for everybody.
He puts his finger up as if one moment. And then everybody in the loop hears this. It's mostly Weird. And he says, "You will be transported now, Weird." Weird appears, sat at the dining table in the room.
That's convenient.
Perhaps I wasn't specific enough that it would be good to get permission before transporting me.
I think Sindel waves vaguely with his bandaged hand towards Zora.
It's for the lip.
Perfect. It's for the loop. That explains everything.
For the loop.
Where are you?
You look down and Zig
I'm
is
here,
there.
don't worry.
Like,
It's like oh fuck, shit.
How did I not see you?
I
in
am
his
quite
fucking refractor armor.
I'm just reflective, yes.
But look,
Okay, and then he kind of motions for everyone to
Now,
kind of
before
link
this
up
goes
and-
ahead, right? Do you want like Thanida or Alice or not Edgar? Probably no. Like, do you want it? Because Thanida wouldn't be the worst to have in it, based on the fact that she's in charge of this ship. But it's up to you if you want that, because it obviously is a good, as I said before, it's like a good emergency channel to have. If you just use comms normally, and then if you go, okay, thick shit's hit the fan, it updates everybody at once, which is nice. That's you don't need to, obviously. I just wanted to point out, Thanida's on board at least.
It would, I think, prove profoundly annoying for her.
Only if
And
you
I
used it to
think
talk about
We've
mundane shit.
been really inconvenient to her on a number of occasions.
That's very kind.
But
of
we've
you.
also really helped her out quite a deal, so
Yeah.
swings and roundabouts.
It would help a lot.
It's just
So,
up to you. If you just think it would be better, like, what's the pros and cons? Pro, you'll have Thanida updated at a thought. Con, Thanida is able to talk to you at a thought. I guess if that
Well,
is
another
even a
con is that for whatever reason we may feel that we need to keep her in the dark about something, even for just
Mm.
for her own safety, it could be, and
True.
that becomes harder.
It's up to you. You can decide, or yes, the captain can just make a call. I don't care how you work this out. Zig can just make a call. It's his power. Like, it's
Captain Admiral.
Yeah, Captain Admiral makes the call, but ultimately Zig executes the call.
Does anybody have any
And
strong
quite
feelings about that
possibly the
decision?
random woman.
Does anybody have any strong feelings about should she be in or should she not? Like, is anybody really
Ah.
invested one way?
I'm not invested either way. I
Okay.
would think it should be pretty good. I think it should be pretty good, but
Like, I think you said you were kind of slightly more into keeping her out.
Yeah,
That's fine. That looks good. Weird.
I don't know. A pre-sense I'm kind of like who's like event, no, like in a meta sense, yeah, it'd be damn fucking handy. But like, I don't know, like, it do my trouble with that sort of crap, right? Like, I don't think it'd be that. Like, yeah.
Weird. Any strong feelings either way?
I'm in favour of annoying her.
Okay. I figured that's
Yeah,
the way you were
that's fair.
going.
Then
Zig?
I will be a sheep and go with the majority.
Okay.
Sorry, Michael.
So your sugar mama isn't going to
I
get
am a
included. No.
wow. Wow.
No sugar mama for Zig. Oh well. So, yeah. So I said no, she's not getting included. That was easy. You don't have to even bug her. She's upstairs in this. I was going to say upstairs in the stream. Upstairs in the bridge. God, I couldn't think of that word. Okay. So, Zig.
Yeah. So I guess motion to get everyone in the nice
Couldn't
little
lay that.
circle.
Sandale
Looking
picks
guy
up his
after.
bandages of the broken glass and just holds them in his hand, waiting on this to happen.
And
Yeah, that's not gonna. You must know what glass is.
yeah, I might as well post it in the.
Mhm.
Why not? Why not? How many people is that actually?
How many people can you do? Because remember,
Well,
there's only 4 players. Plus, plus.
So 4 plus 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 5. That's fine. All good.
Mhm.
All good.
And it does say up to 6 others, so 7 total is what you can manage, right?
Oh yeah. I just read 6 and went 6.
Yep, because it's you can form a link with up to 6
one of my
other.
favorite numbers.
Okay, we've got that done. Good, good. Okay.
Do I opt to leave myself out of the circle?
I don't actually know if you can you? Because it does say
Yes, I can. That's one of my options.
Okay.
I'll
When
double
you
check
think
that.
about it, that would be profoundly annoying.
You can blah blah blah. If
Yeah,
desired, you can
yeah.
leave yourself
I
out.
literally just got there as well. Yep, perfect.
Your track record with communicators, you're not allowed to.
I don't actually. Do
Yeah.
you have
Interact
one?
with people and then just piece out of their lives and leave them permanently brain connected.
Because remember we were laughing at. I didn't know if we could
So
dismiss
rude.
this. Because remember when
It's
Stephen
great.
was
Like you could just.
was it Ray's Kishi
I
was
love it.
added in, and we're like, can you actually dismiss this? I was like, what's the range? And he was like, I'll just fly away. I was like, it's on this plane of existence.
Yeah.
You live in a-
Yeah, it's just easy enough to reestablish it with like one person. But like, if it wasn't dismissible, but it is. But that would just be a funny side effect if it was like overlooked that you couldn't get rid of it. Okay, so you've got the main crew plus Sindel. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Good. Party plus Sindel, right? There we go.
Party plus Cindy.
Sindel. Telepathy.
India.
Okay,
Sorry, and I thought you guys were. Have I completely inverted my brain? Because I thought you guys had overall leaned in favor of including.
No, I was speaking.
'cause, yeah, like you were like a
Right.
no. He was a no. I don't really care either way. She is handy, but I think I wouldn't like Zora wouldn't bug her. And Zig was like, I'll go with the majority. And the only person that was really pro annoying her was Weird.
Yes, which isn't a good
Right.
reason.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, no.
It is a
you're-
reason though.
No, I for whatever reason I sort of thought when he said when with the majority, it was like, well, because you know,
First it either was either
yeah,
way, and then I thought
kind
to
of in
myself,
favor, like it was, yeah. So I just misinterpreted. Sorry, guys.
Very good,
Um,
very good. She's not in. It's just you guys and Cindy. No Tanida.
first I was either or, but I decided, nah, I probably would do actually. Probably would do.
So what's
I
next?
have a break
Is-
getting picked every 2 minutes.
Is they're all majestically connected by the power of the sun.
Well, I mean, thank you.
Oh, oops.
what's he done now?
I didn't mean to do that.
Ooh.
Starry bomb.
So, how's this working? Are we done? Are you done, Michael? Are we all done?
I think.
I enjoyed that. Yeah, like Sindel then thinks to everybody. Are you ready to return? And he looks and he nods towards like Weird, like with his eyes closed, just repeatedly a few times, almost like
Yeah,
an
that's
apology, almost in like acknowledgement that this is him asking everybody now.
I would not.
Yes,
You
please.
dancing.
And he's all just like appear in the thingy room. I was gonna call it the boardroom, the conference room, the debrief room. Obviously, Sindel does not appear in the debrief room. I think like Edgar like gets a bit startled, as he was like half explaining something to Alice as she's just appear from nowhere. I was like, welcome aboard. Alice randomly salutes.
I would salute back. Yeah.
Permission
teleport.
granted, Captain. Alice says.
One pulse. What can we say? One pulse.
Yeah, let's go with wormholes.
So Zig got us signed off on the plan then, Captain. Is that right? Edgar says.
Did he?
I figured it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
I mean,
Alice is nodding sagely.
I mean, maybe I've no broken off legs and never mind.
Look, it worked well with the land power. I'm not like so.
Wanna just wanna. None could be as bad as 11 for. Hope that dug in deep.
I guess I hand Edgar my stun pistol thing, my Aurora Arc Blaster or whatever it's called,
Mhm.
arc pistol.
So ever did you see Zig walk up to Edgar and hand him a weapon, I guess?
Ah,
Yeah.
speaking as
Um,
your head of security, what are we doing?
I mean, probably doesn't need a gun.
Like
to
Edgar
be-
likes holding it and he's looking at it and he's kind of like he puts it in his other hand so he's holding like the barrel of it. And he like puts his hands like vaguely up like by his waist as if, don't shoot. He says, "It's for a bomb. I'm not gonna shoot anyone."
Yeah, okay.
Is this your plan that turns to beard?
Not entirely.
I thought we had a bomb.
This is a different
Oh,
bomb. This is a helpful bomb. Oh, sorry, you're talking to him. Sorry.
No,
This is a bomb to affect drift space.
That.
Good. Do we want to blow up drift now?
A piece of it.
A smidge.
To what? To why?
Craig, I think you said his name was?
Yes.
and this helps.
We're going to create ripples, and then we're going to follow the ripples.
With this. He holds up the gun.
Uh-huh.
So it had
Ah,
to be Craig's CC's to for some reason. I don't actually know.
For following it.
Nods again.
Ah.
Edgar's excitedly
Yes.
nodding. Like, yeah, they get it. See?
so it's like the boats and the submarines and the charges and the stuff. I get you.
Exactly.
Yeah, that. Sonar. That's the one. The sonar. Yeah.
Right, and this guy's Craig.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
I love how this will help us find Greg. He goes, so this will help us find Greg? Yeah, maybe. Both of them just like,
Go ahead is better than nothing.
Excellent.
A plan's better than no plan. Or something along the lines.
Okay, Edgar,
Carry
listen,
on.
So, could probably have something to present before we hit Triaxis at least. So,
Hmm.
he just smiles awkwardly and like pushes another e-cig in his mouth.
Good. Carry on.
He just has like an over dramatic salute.
My eyes probably roll.
Uh-huh. We hear them. Alice looks at everything and goes, "I'll be on the bridge for now, then, since nobody else is here. This is."
I'll go do
Just think
the
it's like-
boring stuff.
And I think Edgar says, "Lyko, I'll catch you in the corridor, minute. It's okay.
Sure.
Cool, good. What does everyone else do?
The corridor.
So, did we edit here?
Is that too weird?
Yeah, just the room.
The room is like you, Weird, and Zig, right? Because Alice
Yeah,
left to
yeah.
go to the bridge. Obviously, we know that Edgar's leaving this room to go speak to Lyko. So he's probably just slowly like sidling by you.
So what was the question?
Do you need anything broken?
Not yet.
I like that. It sounds like a threat. You need anything broken? Yeah.
Well, then
It's good.
hit me up if you do, and it just goes to probably go eat or some shit. Oh, no, it probably goes to the bridge to go actually organise going to Triaxis. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, so you and Alice head to the bridge.
Unless Alice was doing that as a given, but yeah, I'll go make
It's
sure that's
never a
happening.
given with Alice, but
Yeah,
you could
I'll
double
go
check
make sure
if
that's a thing. I'll go make sure that's a thing.
okay, yeah. Right, so you head that way. In the corridor, Lyko.
Yes.
Edgar obviously catches up. He's kind of like still holding the gun, and then he just like looks awkward, like he doesn't quite know where he sit it now. So he just kind of still holds it in both hands, just awkwardly. And then he says, yeah, this is, I wouldn't say delicate, just awkward because of, I used to be your employer a couple of steps removed.
Sure.
But now that I'm helping in a way, I can't do it without some access to systems, like not being able to, like, he brings up a control panel, he just starts tapping things, it just comes up with big red X's all over it. He's like, I get the guest privileges are a thing, I totally get that, I get you maybe don't trust me, that's completely fine, as he's waving this gun to gesture. But I don't care how much supervision is required, I'll need some way of speeding this up, if it's to be done before Triaxis.
Okay.
I've got a bomb in the armory, and I have the ability to punch a hole through the hull. So I am a security risk anyway. And he just shrugs, like, not helplessly,
sort
but
of nodding, stroking
yeah.
the chin. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
He kind of like nods, as if like, come on, man, work with me, kind of vibe he's got.
You're correct. We've already taken on the bulk of the risk just by having you here. So,
Which I appreciate, of course. Like, after everything, this is very
hey,
nice cooperation.
Our goals are aligned. It wouldn't make sense not to. I will speak to Weird and see how we can engineer a solution to this.
I was thinking, why not just have it reset on the timer so that I only get like an hour access and you can judge whether you want to push the reset button. I don't know. You just work it out. I just need the ability to work at my pace. No offense to those guys.
I just know at them. Okay. I have a question for you that's kind of maybe not quite personal, but I guess it could be seen as personal.
Hey, spirit of cooperation. You kind of like gestures with like open arms.
Your people, species, I'm not sure what the correct
He smirks
term.
at that, right? But he doesn't offer anything. He just smirks at that.
I've noticed that my knowledge about your kind is limited, but I noticed something interesting. Do you have any sort of particular ability to influence the undead?
Define influence.
Undead creatures tend to be vulnerable to certain methods of control, hence the point in raising them most of the time. Or anything like that. Anything that would explain an undead being seeming particularly alarmed at the mention of your kind.
He grins a bit, like almost, somewhere between sheepishly and like kind of like shitting, right? And then it kind of grows into full shitting grin, and then he says, "Do I intimidate you, Lyko? Is that what you're getting at?" He kind of almost chuckles a little bit to himself.
I've seen your... I guess that's your true form, and it was most alarming, but...
Kind of like rolls his eyes if fair.
I'm not referring to myself.
Oh,
I am, after all, not the only undead walking around with a free will.
you've told your friends about me. He grins again.
You could... Yeah, you could say that.
He takes like a
Friend
draw of
who's
his
much more knowledgeable than I am about almost all things mystical and otherworldly.
He blows out the icy cool vapor and he says, "If this friend's knowledgeable in the mystic arts, do they want to lend a hand with this bomb?" And he like waves the gun vaguely.
Not only do I not know if I can actually get in contact with them at the moment, sometimes it's not clear, but I don't know that I would want to let them anywhere near a bomb.
It's like in a very sensible way. This isn't like a playful or anything. He's nodding like that is very sensible, right?
It's a personality thing, largely. Some people you just don't let them tinker with bombs.
Nods. He says, "Well, yeah, no, my kind can't influence the undead." He's just very like genuine and matter of fact about that statement.
I wonder what alarmed him so much.
Well, as you said, I am very alarming.
Sure, for those who have actually been around you in the flesh. Although maybe he has encountered some of your. Is this in the flesh? That's an interesting question. Are you actually physically what you seem to be right now, or is this an illusion of some sort?
He laughs. He goes, your head of engineering asked the same thing. Kind of like runs a hand through his hair as he's got his cigarette in his mouth, and he like lifts it out, and then blows out the vapor and goes, "This is to stop me being alarming to others. This is almost he like almost looks for the word. Shell, filter, container.
Container makes sense.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
he goes,
see it.
it's an interface. There you go." And he like vaguely gestures behind him and starts tapping on the panel with all the red X's. You know, something to engage with, without. He kind of looks at the panel, looks at you, goes, without all the electrical wires causing shocks, as it were.
I can work with that.
Well, it's
Final question, and I promise no
He just
more
smirks again.
crying about your kind or your place, which is sort of where I'm going for next. The stranger will awaken?
His eyebrows
How does
just
a
go wide.
world awaken?
He says, "Got any alcohol on board? This should be a conversation with a drink."
Honestly, I think they did a drinks run.
You know,
It didn't seem like the first priority to me, but I'm not sure.
I think you did, right? Because it didn't use.
I think he requested it.
Yeah, I'm sure you did a drinks run. I'm sure Zora ticked off the money at least for supplies.
I did.
Uh-huh,
I did.
yeah.
I did do the drinks run.
Yeah, so like, you definitely do have alcohol, basically. Yeah. So do you take him to there? Is that what the plan is? Like,
If you have a moment, then
he nods and says, "Only a moment, though. I should really get on with this project if you want to recover your crew member. I will state, though, that we might not find them alive if they are in the drift." He kind of like shakes his head, like kind of like unpleasantly.
I have probably already start sort of walking at this point, walk and talk. I do imagine there's a very real risk, but you know what? I have faith in the little guy. He's adaptable.
Well, good. If he's able to, or at least brave enough, I guess. Not even able to, just capability and bravery are sometimes missing in the right quantity. Anyway,
He seems almost suicidally brave.
I don't think bravery's in his vocabulary.
Yeah, like nods and he says,
I'm not here, right, mind you.
I know you're not, but it's okay. You're still in the meta. And Edgar says, well, if he's there, and this is his enough, he shrugs at that statement. I should find him.
Ha! And now I know what the gun's for.
Oh yeah, sympathetic magic, he says again to you this time.
Also, meta moment out of character. One of the earliest sessions of my first ever character, Dietrich Kepler, involved him repeatedly just loudly musing to himself about sympathetic magic and offering as an explanation literally just those words. It was, he was fun. Anyway, I enjoyed that. There's a little callback for me. So I'll go through and crack open whatever it was that the Captain Admiral saw fit to buy.
I think you did buy him a bottle of spin. I think you bought one, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Just so he would get off his. No, wait, I said, fuck that. He's not getting his fucking spin.
Right,
He can
okay.
go take him up himself. I said, I could just get his fucking cheap shit.
Right, so you was you're looking through the cupboards, and I think you're like, was there anything that took your fancy or whatever? And he goes, yeah, the spin captain said he was going to get me. And then you just see the empty cupboard devoid of spin.
I don't think he was willing to stretch the budget to that.
You hear the gun cock, and then we cut to to the boardroom with a Weird and Zig.
Ooh.
I tempted to get the spin. I actually can't remember. How much was the spin?
Spin is like 3,000 and something, right?
I think I would have got it then. I think I
Uh-huh.
could afford that. I would have got it then, right? I thought I was thinking it was like 10 or 20 for some reason. I'm like, get yourself to fucking paying that much. But nah, I think I would have bought it.
Because it is, it's like 3 grand and something. In fact, I'll tell you the exact amount in a second.
I think I do. I can remember saying it. I'll get it just to shop up so he doesn't annoy me. Like
3,996 credits. That's how much a bottle of spin costs.
When I look at my credits, I bet it's like a weird odd number. And if that's the case,
Should be a 4 in it if it's an odd number.
there's a 32. I don't know. I must have had an odd number before that.
Oh,
I've got an odd number regardless.
That's fine.
I'm
So-
pretty sure I did buy it. I think I did buy it. I think I did because
Now, people
FIFA
listening, when he says
much.
odd number, he means literally just an abstractly, not perfectly with all the zeros.
no,
Not an odd
exactly.
number.
I think
It's
he's fine, right? Like a
just a-
10's fine, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, a 10's
Yeah.
alright, but it's got to be a nice 0 at the end.
Just in
man.
case anybody listening to this week in the comments flaming, going, that guy, no, the
Yeah.
vest don't get top, look at even the odd numbers. And never tell me the odds. What are the odds? Odds everywhere.
It's,
It's
I
all
like
the
the idea
odds.
that they think odd numbers are weak and therefore don't teach them.
only one solid fact here, right? Zeros. Like nice fucking ones and zeros. That's what we want, man.
I don't believe the vest don't believe zeros.
It's like the opposite of the Catholic Church.
Anyway,
Yeah,
moving
zero with it,
swiftly
I
on.
get one.
So in the boardroom, the conference room, we've got Weird and Zig still, I believe. So
Yes.
yeah, there's the chat.
Does Weird know about the egg situation? I can't remember.
I think so, because he
Okay,
was
that's
there
fine.
when you were discussing it, right? Because that's how you knew where it was. Because you were like, well, Weird knows where the eggs are. Cinderella brought Weird over, and we're like, right, where is it? And then he's like, oh, it's just ahead of time. And he goes, ah, here it is. There you go. When it was sent back, right? I think that's what happened.
Yep.
So he does know about the egg situation, yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Not necessarily about you wanting to then take it to the sun.
In that case, maybe Zig will say that. I think we should probably try taking the egg to the sun again at some point soon. I think possibly, maybe.
Oh yeah, we've got to do that as well. Fuck.
And then,
Yeah.
oh no, carry on.
I was just gonna say yes. There's hopefully there's still people there that can help us.
And then Zig, kind of looks off in the distance. Just says, and then actually, I think, yeah, I was gonna say, if Zig could calm, the Azure flare.
Yeah, you come to Azure Flare. Comes open and Snaya says, Sig, how can I help you? And you just hear like moaning as if someone's in pain.
Quarterback.
Just to
Square in the
say
medical
the
room.
solar egg is still aboard your ship, and if you could just keep it somewhat safe, that would be excellent, Your Majesty. Highness.
She grins on her side of the comms, obviously, and then she says, that's no problem, Zig. I hope whatever you are doing does not keep you away for too long.
Me too. Me too.
She kind
I
of
said if it
laughs
starts
melodically.
taking too long, we'll just get Sindile to send us back. It's all good.
Yes, how long is he staying aboard my ship also?
Who knows?
Wonderful. Anything else?
Take care of yourself. Be good.
I can only do one of those. Probably hear like
Well-
moaning in agony again.
Take care of yourself.
You too. And then the comms close, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've dealt with that. You're in the weird. What's the plan? My 6 going somewhere else.
So this bomb, do I have any instructions of how to build it?
No, you've had literally what's probably been spoke about, which is sonar, sympathetic magic, gun, drift ripples.
Cool. Then I start gathering bomb stuff.
Perfect. Yeah.
Dripples. Oh.
Zig would like offer like help. Just if you need me to do anything?
It's okay. I've got enough hands here.
Zig will just nod and then kind of go looking for the canteen.
Okay. Weird. I feel like. Do you have any like random piles of scrap that we've discussed in the past, or is that all used up now?
There was a bunch of junk sitting in one of the workshops.
It sounds like the shuttle bay, right?
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, I remember at some point, I just cannot remember when in the last like 90 odd sessions, that there was a pile of undesignated scrap that we had at some point. I just can't think what it had been used in since, because I'm like, where did that go? But there's probably there's still bits of fighter left over and stuff, because it was mostly the drift engine that CC took and then built a frame.
Pretty sure we didn't burn through everything.
Yeah, so do you want to give me an engineering roll for like just scavenging parts then? We'll see how that goes.
I did not to scavenge cargo, didn't I?
Yeah, he's just sold it.
Cool. We work on a scavenger.
Yeah.
I was deeply offended by this idea.
Yeah, we'll do a wee.
35.
That's not bad, yeah. I think you'll probably find everything you need to at least build a bomb by your standards, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I think you can spend time gathering parts for that, yeah. It works for me.
Yep. I turn the boardroom into a bomb room.
Yep. I like the idea that you project up Iron Man style all your favourite schematics for different situations, depending on which bomb of the week you require.
Flicking through my holographic binder.
Binders full of bombs.
Your bomber
Yep,
decks.
spinning around.
And
just, this one's nice.
It's probably the most animated we've seen weird in a while.
Yeah, this one's more of a holiday bomb. But,
fair weather bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a shove in your suitcase type of bomb, you know, like
This is more of a laissez-faire bomb. Yep, I see it now.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, this was my first bomb.
It's all ghetto duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was my favourite kids' book.
My first journal. So yeah, you do that. Zig, you said you're heading off to the canteen, yeah?
Yar.
Cool. I'll catch up with you in a wee second. I think Alice and the
Okay.
captain on the bridge.
Cool.
You get in there and Finn says, "Ah, wonderful. Welcome back, Captain and Admiral."
No you as well. The captain will be fine.
He holds up his holographic copy of Sarcasm.
Good work. Good job.
He nods,
Doing good.
very proud
Right,
of himself, and then just like, dismisses the copy of it and then just says, "Indeed, sir."
Yeah, so nothing's broken since I was last here. No universal crisis. Yeah. No for
He
awful women.
as you say that,
and other
he
things.
glitches out and glitches back in. Inverted.
Oh my god.
Is this another one of your books?
It's Werner Herzog.
And he says a line of dialogue that's all like inverted as well, so it's all back to front.
Oh my god, it's David Lynch.
Who changed the AI to David Lynch?
Why did I even ask the question?
And it goes from orange to blue.
This
Ah.
is all good.
I prefer to be orange. Alice?
Alice just looks at you. She goes, "This was not me." Insofar as I used to be an interface. She gestures vaguely towards it.
What would cause old you to be like that?
She looks at you. And looks back at it. And she says, probably something like this. She projects, like, from her comm device, like an image of just, like, crazy, complicated machine code. And she just, like, highlights segments, and then she just, like, starts, like, deleting chunks and putting smiley faces in places, and just screwing up the code, and just going, like this stuff. Just looks at you as if you obviously know exactly what that would do.
So, can you fix this?
Probably. She smiles, nods,
Uh,
like quite confidently, like she does. Yeah, she goes, probably.
good.
Are you set on the orange though?
I do quite like orange.
Okay.
I mean, it's a strong, fiery colour.
Oh, we can do flames if you want.
A fiery fin? No, orange fine. I was like, I was thinking about this.
She nods, and she goes, okay. And she goes over and starts, like, she just sits at one of the side terminals and just starts, like, bringing up a whole bunch of different screens. She starts tapping away, and Finn, like, blinks out.
I'm able to, like, also sit across the tri-axis if it's fun.
She just points over at the, like, the control she normally sits at, and she goes, just set it over there.
Let's do it.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Oh, let's start with single button pressing.
Oh, guys, your captain is trying to navigate a drift jump to tri-axis. Oh, dear gods.
Woo!
You have another pilot on board. I'm just saying that now. You know that Zig is a pilot.
Right, so I'll press like.
Lyko can also do it, right? Lyko's
button.
pretty good at piloting, I think, as well. And I think
It's not bad.
you're okay at it, right?
I'll
Not
press
crew
the
of pilots.
the drop down button and I'll be like coordinates and I'll be like somebody pull a job to try access and brain speak and I'll just start up and walk it.
Fix this. This is walk.
I want nothing to do with this.
I think Cinderella just said, good luck. Just through the brain speak.
Go to the yeah.
And they responded to the captain through brain speak then?
I don't know. I just had a gun cocked behind me.
Weird is walking back and forth with arms full of grenades. So he's
you're on your way
wait
to the
and just see
canteen.
if anything happens.
Yeah, I guess they would just say, Captain.
Oh, lad. I'll go to the
Just-
canteen.
He's the right
One-
man.
Yep,
And
so
or
he's-
wrap the job.
Just pass each other in the corridor.
Yeah, just wander over.
Yeah, and do you want to give me a piloting roll? Do you say anything to Alice as you step in the bridge, or what's the plan?
Alice,
Zig! How's, wait a minute. Science department.
close enough. Grand. Bidoof.
Nice, yeah. We've already done the roll for how, right? We have already done the roll for how long it was going to take to get to tracks, so I remember that much. Does anybody remember how many days?
That's not a bad roll.
I think, wasn't it quite a quick, I think you could. Was it not 6 hours? Sorry, 12 hours or something. I'm sure it was a really good roll. So you knew you could have time because you told the Mogash like 2 days. I think. I remember you told him longer.
I feel like we told him a week.
You maybe did. Maybe you did tell him, or at least a few days, vaguely. I just did not seem to write down.
I'm not 100% certain, but I do think that is what we said. With a
Yeah.
reasonable confidence, but again,
I know, and I didn't write it down. Apparently, I
calling it
thought I
now.
did, but definitely not here. Here. 89. Do I have notes for that? Let's quickly have a quick scan at this in case I did write it down.
Just saying though, it's not the most incompetent roll I've ever done.
Let's see.
Not the most important.
We'll just say it's 12 hours anyway. I have no reason for it to need to be longer. So it can just be the 12 hours. Yeah. That's fine. Because I can't find the note. Thought I had wrote it down. But nope, I did not. Why would that be useful information, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, what is information?
So Zig, you know it's going to be a 12-hour jump based on the rotations?
That's fine. I guess I would just put out like a thing to everybody saying 12 hours until arrival. People.
Just over comms, aye.
Yeah. If there's like a ship comms button.
Yeah, of
we'll
course
just
there
do
is.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we cut over to Lyco and I think the reason why you don't hear the gun cock is probably because you had brain speak of the captain saying, "Can somebody come pilot this?" And you turn around with like I guess cheaper booze, and go
Yeah.
sit. And Edgar's just looking over the gun, as if like not pulling it apart, but like inspecting it as you would, as if somebody that was taking it off a rack and going to use it. And you sit down with that, and he just looks at it and goes, "Bit of a cheapskate, this captain, eh?"
It's better than you'd think. We used to stock this back in one of the bars I worked in Avalon.
He just shrugs and goes, "So long as it fucks this up." And he just swigs the glass you've got him straight away, and he does that thing where like he tenses up his throat and like, "Okay." And what is it you've actually given him? What type of drink?
It's probably some sort of very strong and slightly medicinal tasting spirit.
Okay.
I imagine that Abalon probably the robots decide what you're getting supplied.
So it's probably called like a rocket fuel or something benign like that.
They're probably all about efficiency. It's like, yes, we've calculated that the humans like to get drunk within X drinks. That's Abalone is very much the Matrix, but without the fun getting to live in a cool simulation. It's just the Matrix if the machines just decided that they knew how to make a society, and it's mostly just grey. That's an exaggeration.
I love
But it is
the
very
idea
much,
of that being like the machines of Abalone.
life run
we
with
live in a society.exe.
They do. The machines. I am going to become the computer. The machines sort of they have a massive degree of oversight over what life is structured like, and they determine what people do. So yeah, like I imagine that booze is perhaps not the best. Like you probably have to personally import stuff if you wanted the good
I like
stuff.
it instead of like
everyone's-
strength, like instead of percentage of alcohol on the bottles, it's how many drinks it will take to be like inebriated. I think that's what they would
Yeah,
be
so it'll
sold
be
as.
like you will require 2 to 3 drinks if your body size is within X parameters.
I like
So
that.
yeah, like I take a swig of my own and yeah, sort of just gesture to him to indicate, well then.
What do you know about Octurne?
Strange place, a lot of unusual activity on the surface, not the most often visited, and people buy some pretty unusual entities of various kinds.
Here's one for the history books. People think the Brer Vath are from there. It gives you like a kind of cheeky look.
but you're not.
He grins again. He's like, let's just say it was pleasant. And you know everything about Octurne is not pleasant.
Yeah.
And he says, after a while, you know how it is. You look up to somebody, you start to romanticize them in your head. You idolize them. I mean, we have a celebrity as the captain. He rolls his eyes. This is how we became gods on Nocturne. And he just like nods at you.
Okay.
The worship built around us. We enjoyed it, obviously. He kind of shrugs. Who wouldn't, and starts like slides his glass closer to the bottle, and
I'll pour him another one.
Yeah. and he says, "We, quite frankly, we took a great deal of enjoyment out of that. Quite frankly, and enjoyment isn't something we were used to. We didn't have access to anything but dread." He just says it that way, like as if repeating your wording. We didn't really have anything beyond that as a point of reference, so reverie and appreciation. And he takes a swig of the drink and slams it down hard and kind of like coughs a bit. Goes, value? As he clears his throat. Whew. Looks at it, the empty glass, and then just looks at you. It's like blinks a couple of times. Not as nice as spin, but it's definitely. Just sets his glass down near the bottle again, and then he says,
It's something I say, and I'll sort of polish off my.
Yeah. He goes, so. Speaking of intoxicating feelings, that worship that took us all. This was a while ago, of course. He waves vaguely, with a gun in his hand, again gesturing with it. But things happened as they always do. Time moves on, etc., etc., etc. And I kind of like to slowly drift. Like he mumbles away into like looking down and goes, "Sorry, what was your question again?"
Yeah, it was more about the world itself.
Yeah, the stranger, right? And like, if you haven't, he pours himself another drink. But if you have, he just lifts his glass and then he.
Yeah, I'll pour him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have too many of these. I don't know exactly how much it takes to get you drunk, but.
And he looks like he goes, "Don't worry, I'm a fairly cheap date." And then he takes a more moderate sip of it this time, and then he sets it down and says, "Yeah. So, Nocturne's old. The stranger within it, older. That's wrong. Timeless." And he waves his hands vaguely with a gun in one. It's he's trying to think of the wording. Mythology, right? And he looks at you as if that is a revelation. Mythology and gods and old folk tales. He's looking around. He's like, "Can you bring up a?" And he just like makes the motion for just a screen. He just wants you to basically open a paint fucking program or something up.
Yeah, I would sort of flick something open in the.
Yeah, he just starts like doodling on it. He's like, you've got everyday things. And he just like makes a wee stick person. He goes, "So we've got those, and then we have these." And he just starts doodling away. It's just like, a rudimentary like triceratopsy looking thing. And he's like, and we got these as well. And he doodles something like, you know, a person 3 times the height of the first little stick man. And then he says, right, so we have people, vaguely gestures to the little stick man. We've got beasts and things. And you've got people they look up to, people they worship. Very simple system. And he does the thing where he like clicks his hands together so that it zooms out a bit, and he just copy pastes the last thing again, and the Triceratops looking thing again. He just pastes them on top of each other and just scales them up so they're like 10 times the size of the god figure. He goes, and we got these things, these really, really old things. And he just looks at you with like, you're probably detecting the first time Edgar's ever probably had concern in his voice. And he says,
I probably look
Yeah.
quite very furrowed the brow, not entirely following or following, but still
Mhm.
not actually any the wiser for it. I think would be the way I would put it.
yeah, like you're like, I understand what you're saying, but I don't understand what you're getting at. That type of like.
Yeah.
And he looks at you and he takes like a draw of his cigarette and he offers you one from his case.
Thank you. Take one.
And he nods and takes a sip of his glass and sets it down and goes, so, people, beasts, gods, monsters. Looks at you. He goes, big, titany monster things. He waves vaguely.
That's what the stranger is.
Yeah. It's a larval, and he like says that with a bit of like distaste.
Ah, right. So it's not a waking. It's like it's being born.
What's the difference?
Sleep sort of is more something you do once, you know.
He looks at you like he thinks he's been profound the way he said that, right? And he's like doing that thing where he's grinning over these glass as he's like sipping at it.
At any rate, the thing inside it, this stranger, isn't active yet. But
Yeah, but he just nods at that.
world becoming more active.
I would say whatever is in there is stirring. Yeah, and just like takes a sip of it, or he probably just finishes the glass at that point, and sits it down and he looks at it and he goes, I am not even sure what it does, other than it is either about to be born, in which case it's going to wake up angry and hungry, or it was encased there and it's going to wake up angry and alone, or it's going to wake up and it's going to be benevolent. He just looks at you like he's being a dick, basically.
yeah, and I don't. I'm not gonna take anything from that other than what he said, and like just directly. Yeah, I would never work on the assumption that anything is going to be benevolent. So this thing, it you don't seem altogether comfortable talking about it.
I'm a bit out of my depth. I didn't actually find out about the thing underneath until many, many years after I'd left Octurne. He's kind of like playing with the gun now on the table, just kind of like slowly spinning it, as if like fidgeting. He looks at you and goes, so you can imagine my embarrassment regarding how long I was a Nocturne, and we didn't know.
Sure.
There are no Breervaths on Octern, Lyco. And he just looks at you with like no hint of like joy, just a very take that for what it's worth statement.
Yeah, and I think like it reads into that obviously they don't want to be there when it awakens. I think like was just sort of nodding, sort of softly, very much with an implication of I'm falling.
Yeah, like leans back and goes, I know what you're thinking. Well, not really, but it's a turn of phrase. The Octern's on the outer orbit. So if it does blow up or wake up or birth itself, he air quotes that, takes a draw of his cigarette. I used to, Absalom's quite a bit away. So, or it was. And could probably make it to the sun quicker than it can make it to Absalom. And he shrugs at that because he has no way to gauge that, obviously. You can kind of guess that. He's kind of just hypothesizing. This is why we moved. He waves vaguely.
I see. Demons in the sun.
Kind of like taps his nose and goes, no, but there is a door to one of the hills and the sun.
Huh.
He says that so casually. It's probably like, what?
Every day.
He takes out a draw of his cigarette and goes, so, my plan was just to... Oh, hello. Nico?
I'm sorry.
Our home? So, whoever's copyright strike that is, Nico apologises.
I do apologise. I do apologise.
Mr. Nico of Nico Incorporated.
And Nico.exe. And so...
It was just somebody else's stream because I clicked on it
Oh dear.
by accident.
Oh, you got
Well,
pop-up
that
ads.
Yeah.
Our home. Something.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
anyway, he says, my plan was just to, jump ship, essentially, somewhere, and see if it was far enough,
Okay. This thing really... You don't know much about it, but you know enough to be willing to drop the material world at the
He laughs, and he says, this isn't my world.
fair.
Takes another draw of his cigarette and says, this was just a stopgap after all for me. But it's very, he looks around and then looks at the wall again and then just nods and goes, it's quite comfy. So, it's not like I was eager to leave, but I was perfectly willing to keep going, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I'm sure you're not the only person that's had some kind of safe house, but then you're not the type of person that would have all your eggs in one basket now, would you?
I think that remains to be seen.
I think he laughs, actually, and it probably catches him off guard. And then he leans forward and he goes, please don't tell me you're planning on trying to wake it up.
No, I'm not planning on that. I just I am concerned that is what's happening.
Kel looks, he goes, I don't think you have to be concerned about whether it's happening. I think it is happening. Kel nods.
But when? And what do we do when?
He looks you up and then he goes, you're a bit pale for the sun. Takes a draw, mockingly.
I don't mind the heat.
He laughs and he says, how do I say this? And he doesn't go any further than that. That's just kind of his way of maybe going, he definitely thinks you're underestimating what he means. And then I think we cut from you, and in fact, no, we don't cut from you. You get a notification, like an incoming message.
I just quickly glance at my comm.
Yeah, and it's from Dr. Hallen, and that's where we go to break.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was about to cut to Weird to give him the message for some reason, because my brain is like, yeah, we'll send that message to Weird. And I realised, nope, it's
I'm the point of
yeah.
contact.
It's like that goes the point of contact. But yeah, so what I'll do is I'll pop us on our wee break screen. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
de vreun an și ceva, spune că... Ce? Nu! Suntem banii! Cine? De vreun an și ceva, spune că... Ce? Nu! Suntem banii! Cine? De vreun an și ceva, spune că... Ce? Nu! Suntem banii! Cine?
E control în Poliția Capitalei, după ce un agent a mers să se penseze în timpul programului și a ajuns cu întârziere la o intervenție. Tânărul agent era într-o patrulă cu un jandarm care i-a și atras atenția că nu respectă regulamentele, fără succes însă. Militarul a raportat situația, așa că nu a trecut mult până când polițistul să trebuiască să dea și explicații. A susținut că a mers la salon într-o misiune de filaj. Maria Moiș are mai multe detalii.
Bun găsit, Cătălin. Lucruri care au fost infirmate de către conducerea Poliției Capitalei în urma verificărilor care s-au făcut, verificări care, din informațiile Digi24, se apropie de final, așadar în scurt timp ar urma să fie și
Okay, I think we're back on. Good. So, welcome back to Starfinder, the Fragments of Eternity. I'm so glad I didn't get that mixed up based on what's in my head right now. Session 93, Part 2. I am Brian, the GM. It's the 3rd of May, 2021. Here are the players in Romanian.
Hello, I want my money. Also, I am Colin. I will be playing... I nearly said Vanguard, but I won't be playing Vanguard tonight. I will be playing Likeable Quint, your sneaky, spooky, resident space cop coast to coast. Captain!
Hello,
Admiral.
I'm Nico. And I'm playing Zora. The Vest Captain.
Yeah.
Quite possibly. I'm not sure anymore.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'll be playing Weird, your resident bomb maker.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Callum, and I will be playing Zig, the Burning Sun, Mystical Space Rat, Commodore, Chief Mystic Officer, the Burning. And
I
that
like it.
newly appointed science officer as well, I guess.
According to Alice, at least.
Has Alice been wrong? Me?
Yeah.
Beep. I'm not saying she has.
I like to believe that she's just giving you oversight of the sciences while CC is off ship. That's...
Ah yes. You do science now. Okay.
I don't remember what CC's actual official... Was he head science officer? Like... I don't remember how you divvied this up anymore, Nico. I have a note of it somewhere. What was it?
Somehow.
Yeah. CC... Yeah, Chief Science Officer, that was CC's. I found the list. Yeah.
For now.
For now. Yeah. Queries listed as Ensign Crewman. Ivan's official title, King of the Ooze / Officer. I suppose Ivan's on board actually as well. I forgot he's on board the final hour, right? So he'll be about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Can't believe I forgot about Ivan. Fucking hell. Too many NPCs, that's why. So, yeah. So you get a message, Michael. From Dr. Helen, or Helen. And
It says.
it simply reads, you accessed restricted files that I am... it's something like whatever the equivalent of steward of, but they wouldn't use that because it's too much like the stewards. So files within my charge, maybe. And then it says, if you wish to discuss this breach, I'll be on Versus, and it's like some space date in like a week.
Okay.
Mm.
So it's not from Helem.
No, it is. It's from Dr. Helen. It says that they'll be able to speak to you in a week on Versus. Yeah. That's what it says.
Okay.
About
What
the
I was
beach.
going for was, is it? I was interpreting it as that is perhaps Babak reaching out through subtle means. I don't know.
Roll Space Cop. We'll see if you can see anything.
Space Cop. Yep, give me a sec.
Try and find reasons for everything to roll, I guess.
23, which is a bad roll for me.
Yeah, but I think you look over and you think there's nothing obviously cop speech about this.
Yeah.
It's just as if anything, it sounds a tiny bit annoyed and brisk. Almost like you didn't ask to see the files, you just overrode them. So yeah, that's it.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Maybe. Anyway. First season. I will make mental note of that. And there's no details about he was still working with weird stuff, nothing about that.
This isn't Calva.
No. Calva. Dr.
Helen is the one that was in charge of...
yeah, I have gotten confused.
Shakos.
Yeah, Helen, okay. This is an individual I have not actually met. Right.
Correct.
So in a week on...
It's like Dr. D. Hallen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I will mentally make a note of that for now and not mention it in this particular conversation.
Yeah. And yeah, anything else you want to say to Edgar, or are you happy with what has been shared so far?
I think I would use this sort of as an opportunity to sort of wrap it up with them and just say, I guess we should both get back to work then. We'll figure out some sort of workaround. I'll speak to Weird and get you better access.
You know,
Or
it's
meaningful access.
as it goes. This means I can do the job, you know, and you may as well make the most of me while you've got me. 12 hours. He points like up to the tannoid system that just said obviously 12 hours till Triaxis.
Yes, no, just know that. And,
yeah, he like finishes the dregs of his drink, sits it down, and he does go, "Thanks for the drink, Lyko." Anyway, like just picks up the gun and like just swaggers back towards, you know, the briefing room.
I'll sort of put the drink away and chuck the glasses in the sink.
Okay. And yeah, so I think Zara, you were heading to the canteen. Is there anything in particular you were looking to get sorted, or are you just looking to get out of the bridge, really?
Just looking to get out of the way. I'm not needed. I don't need to break it. I don't need to fire the ship. No, I mean, there's nothing else really to do, so I might as well eat and probably sleep during a 12-hour voyage and stuff. Like,
yep. So if that's perfect. So if you're gonna eat and sleep and basically just set yourself up for arriving at Traxxas, that's perfect. I'll go back up to Lyko. I'll just work my way down the line. Lyko, are you doing anything with the 12 hours?
Yes, I will be. Firstly, contacting Weird to discuss. Or maybe I should go through the procedures and what have you that exist already before I contact Weird.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll check over them and sort of see if anything glaring stands out that I think desperately needs changed. And other than that, just sort of take it on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, so by that do you mean procedures of like the security of the ship? Do you mean?
Yeah.
Anything you want to highlight to me? Because other than that, it's probably just, you know, there are tiers of access, and you know, the job description would dictate where you have access to and what levels of computer
anything
access.
that I think could be a glaring vulnerability, because maybe like maybe the way that this ship functions by default doesn't work in quite the same way that you would operate maybe a more informal crew like ours.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something that's more sort of aligned along the.
This is 100% like a Veth design, so it's clearly like if you don't have a, you know, job description, you shouldn't have access to do anything on that particular function. So yeah, you can imagine with having set guest privileges, that's probably the equivalent of prisoner privileges, since guest is probably a polite translation error in Vesk, whereas this isn't like a diplomatic ship.
Can I just like maybe do a? Guess this would be a computer's role.
Depends.
Just to sort of check and see if he finds that it's all up to snuff, like really just to sort of establish that he's done a once over of it and hasn't found anything that he feels is a glaring issue.
Yeah, that can be a computer's role, yeah.
It's not the best role.
No, I think you look it over and you realise like you're doing that thing where you're just staring at like lines of data where you're looking at going, I don't really know what I'm looking for. I know that if I give him this access, he gets access to these systems, but if I only give him this access, it cuts him out of these systems. Those systems are likely what he'll need to access things like the programming elements of the ship and the higher functions of the computer core. But it just depends how comfortable you are with what access level, and you might need somebody that's a bit more versed in computer systems than
So
yourself.
having done that, I would decide
absolutely me is your man.
Oh yeah.
Man.
I would decide that's the time
I'm your
to
dude.
contact Zora. No, Weird. I would call him Weird and sort of just give him a message saying, checking over these files, all seems very bug standard. Not really spotting anything of particular note. Advise Edgar, what level of assistance do you think you require from him? Something like that.
Um, give him read access, particular area where he can add his own files, no messing with settings, timeout in 24 hours.
I will respond. I think he would respond affirmative because he's American, base American, I should say. And then call up Finn and ask him to do that.
Perfect. You get like a weird crackle of the comm system, and then you just get a thumbs up on your comms. Like a big holographic thumbs up.
Is everything all right, Finn?
You just hear through the the voice comms, tickety boo.
Yeah, okay. And mentally I would say, is anything wrong with the ship?
Well,
Because
Not
the
that I'm
AI just
aware.
said tickety boo.
I'm sure it's a weirdly British polite thing, so it's not the weirdest thing it's ever said, but you have never heard it say tickety boo before.
Yeah, it's a weird British thing. That's exactly why Lyco finds it alarming. You know what the British are? Villains. Have you
was gonna
seen
say-
Star Wars?
Is this where you're going to hit out with the British reply of Benedict Arnold was the only one who wasn't a traitor? That's one of my favourite lines from a comedy show, from a British guy screaming at an American guy. Oh dear.
Well, if everybody's sort of unconcerned, I will write that off to some ongoing tech issues.
Love how the
perhaps
captain didn't even
related
respond to you. Like the one that broke Finn. Nico?
What? Sorry, what was that? About Finn?
Yeah.
I broke Finn. Is that what you said? So that's what I got.
Did you miss
like,
what Lyco asked the crew?
Yes.
I said, is anything up with the ship because the AI asked.
Oh,
The AI said tickety
right.
boo to me.
Yeah. All of a sudden, Finn went a little bit crazy. I've asked Alice to look into it. Yeah.
And again, mentally. Well, that's worrying. Could this be anything to do with any of the ongoing work?
I didn't do anything. Except voice out, mostly.
Let's keep a close eye on Edgar's access then, just in case.
What does that sound like to Zora? Edgar's access? Because instead of putting news to you.
It goes access.
Yes, Captain. Captain Admiral. I've given Admiral. I've given a degree of access tailored to Weird's recommendations, so that he's able to assist in the bombs.
Okay. Yeah. Then keep 5 eyes on him.
I'll
Don't know where you're going to find 5th eye. Let you figure that out.
maybe ask Alice to keep an eye on his activity. Yeah, in fact, that's a good idea, he says as he calms Alice. To ask her to keep an eye on Edgar's activity as he's been granted a degree of access.
Okay, yeah, you calm Alice and she picks up his. Let go!
Alice, whereabouts are you right now?
I'm on the bridge. Come on by.
Sure. Be there in a second. And I will do that.
Okie dokie. She like cuts the comm. Yeah, so yeah, you can get to the bridge.
Alice,
You see her like sat over at like the very left hand side of the all the consoles. One that very few people go to, actually. She sat there like working through screeds of code.
I see you're busy, so I will not keep you too long.
I can multitask, don't worry. She finger guns behind her. So it obviously misses you, but
I appreciate the effort. And yeah, I'll sort of move up towards her and sort of maybe sit at one of the other seats. So, due to the ongoing work, I have given a degree of access Edgar,
okay.
our guest. Obviously, it's a bit of an unknown quantity here. Edgar is a unusual guy with unclear motivations at times, so I thought it might be worth having someone keep a particularly close eye on his activity.
She looks up. She kind of stops and goes, "He's a bit of a dick, isn't he?"
He-
Just like
he-
stops,
yeah,
like typing at
he
that
can
point,
be.
and just looks at you dead on to say that.
In arms dealers, there. I like who just sort of shrugs and like, you know what? I worked for the guys, so I guess I'm not in much of a position to judge. But
I think in a strange way, I did too. She kind of like looks around at that as if she's not really sure what she's saying.
yeah, I guess you did.
Or at least worked for the people that worked for him. That he worked for. Yeah, that one.
The same organization. Let's. He's
Guess that makes us dicks by proxy. She shrugs. Starts typing again.
yeah. I mean, like there's an old timey phrase that Dick is like a detective. So
She looks at you and goes, okay.
anyway, I got a little off topic there. Sorry. So if you have the opportunity, keep an eye on any edits he makes, etc. He's given him very limited access. He shouldn't be able to really change anything. But if anything that he uploads looks alarming,
Okay, Lyko. So, and she like stops typing again, and she leans back in the chair so she can like see you properly. And she says, "So the captain taught me a very important lesson.
I'm
I
excited.
like who braces.
Yeah.
This can only be good.
She looks at you and she goes, delegation. I need to do this, otherwise Finn's all blah, blah. So
I have noticed that.
good. Although that's worrying because I turned him off. So when did you notice that?
3 or 4 minutes ago.
Damn.
He responded to.
Can I have your comm?
I hand it with her.
Yeah.
Hand it with her.
Yeah.
Hand it to her without comment.
Yeah, and then she just like goes, okay, and she just like interfaces that with her terminal and she goes, God fuck it. She just starts swearing and then she ends up going binary on the swearing and then she like just starts like typing really, really fast. She's like, okay, so 2 things. 1, I'm gonna shut all the comms down. 2,
okay.
I am delegating this job to Zig. She just looks at you and nods.
I give her
Great.
a thumbs up.
So go tell Zig you're currently the comms device of the ship.
I'll do
That's
that
his job.
as we speak, and he mentally does that.
Yeah.
Like, Zig, you're now the comms device.
No, the job is like to go look after Edgar.
Yeah,
That's what she was telling you to do. Sorry if it wasn't clear.
right.
Because
Yeah,
she's
sorry,
now doubly busy with what she's to do.
Zig, could you keep your eye on any system activity from Edgar? I will try and look in it also, but I'm going to be knee deep in some really boring files.
If this is brain speak, she pokes you. Tell them the comms are going to be off for like about 2 hours.
Okay, yeah. Also, comms are going to be offline for about 2 hours. Alice is concerned
Okay.
about, well, stuff. But she seems to be right to be concerned. So,
Right.
Mhm.
So keep an eye on what Edgar's doing, and comms are off.
yeah. I'm gonna stop
Uh,
brain talk now because I'm just staring at her at this point. Okay, I'm gonna go back to my computer. I think they're allowed.
Yeah. And she goes, was that?
Safe enough to use that?
Local files, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's not, let me know.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. She just smiles and nods. I'll get this back to you when it's.
Oh no, don't worry. Destroy it. He just turns to go.
Okay, yeah. And she just turns and goes, and then just starts like typing away again. Could probably read into the fact that if MD here is savvy enough about AI, they're probably just worried that this thing trying to hide itself in places. So
Yeah.
She's doing what she can
That's
about
that's
it.
why
Yeah.
you wouldn't.
So she does that. Right, who's got something else to do then? Right, I feel like we've got other shit to do. Right, so Edgar's probably went back to the briefing room. Sorry, probably passes you on the way.
Yeah.
I feel so. Everything's ship shape, Captain.
Not quite.
Oh,
My computer trouble, but it's fine.
I hope this isn't what I asked Lyko about.
What did you ask like what about?
Getting access to the computer processor so I can, find this Craig fellow.
I'm sure that Lyco can. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay. And then in 12 hours you won't have to deal with me anymore. He smiles at you.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Just like nods.
Good nod.
I'm,
Synchronized nodding
yeah,
to each
like-
other.
I'm going to the briefing room. Are you going that way or are you going a different way?
I'm going to the another point towards the canteen food place.
Enjoy.
Yes. Did you enjoy your
I will.
briefing?
Yeah.
Good.
That was painfully awkward.
And then Edgar leaves and then heads towards the briefing room and kind of goes and then closes the door behind him fairly quickly. Weird. Looks at you. He says, Captain's not much of a talker, is he?
Oh,
It depends what you want to talk to him about.
Fair. He just
He is a
nods.
diplomat after all.
Yeah, I imagine I'm not his favourite subject. He says half to himself. How's it going in here? These look fun. And he gestures to like the 20 schematics floating in the air.
Yes, I've been working on some bombs.
Excellent. I love the idea that
You
there's
didn't
no
give it
pile of
any other
scrap.
details.
That's okay. Let's see what we can do. And yeah, I think, let's see. I'll do some rolls and we'll see what he gets. Right, so what do we need? We need mysticism, we'll need engineering, and we'll probably need computers. And yeah, do that, perfect. And I'll do the same, so I'll do them in the same order. I'll just match, so we need 3 of these, or bam. Okay, it's not bad. So mysticism is kind of low, but that's fine. I obviously won't tell it to use his modifier. And those are alright, yeah. Look at him be way better at computers than he had any right to be. So yeah, he starts working away. So yeah, you both do pretty damn well. I guess some of the mysticism isn't super obvious initially to you, but you can see that he's essentially like coding in mystically. He's coding in the signatures of I guess you'd say like aura transference. Here's where Ryan just starts to talk shit for a bit with fancy words. But like, yeah, things obviously kind of absorb other people's auras. It's what like psychics use for like post-cognition and stuff like that. To look back the way, or retrocognition, depending on your term of phrase. And yeah, he just starts to like bind that into like the ship interface. and then yous work together, housing essentially a massive fucking drift bomb. That's about to. Said you drop that in drift, it blows up, and then you just turn the computer on to listen for the thing that says this is the same signal, aka CC. Make sense? Good.
Yes.
So
I should be able to hear this.
And I think Edgar looks at things. Well, the computer will hear it. The sensors will hear it, and we could hook it up to you if you want. He shrugs.
Probably best not to.
I've never done it before, so probably best not to. I see why it wouldn't work though. He starts. You can tell he's now like, oh, what happened?
Let's not.
Better we burn the ship sensors out than yours. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm using these.
Yeah. Although being lost in drift space with no sensors isn't ideal either, but that's less of a problem.
We've been lost in drift space before. That's fine.
He laughs and goes. He like looks as if he's remembering fondly, and then he goes, "Okay. We should move this to the bomb bay. You just have one of those, right?" He kind of just looks.
I gesture to the boardroom table.
Mm-hmm. Okay. He like looks at you and goes, "Right." Now this process probably did take about, I don't know. Let's see. Do you want to roll a d10 plus 2, and we'll just see how well you did?
D10 plus 2, 9.
Okay, so 9 hours total to get that sorted.
Yep.
It's pretty good though. That means it's filled their time up pretty nicely. So I'll just say 9 hours in, bomb made. I'm assuming you haven't quite jumped into drift yet because you got comms and stuff back and forth to the ship, so let me know as soon as you want to push the jump to drift button, and then this timer of the 9 hours will start for them, if that makes sense time-wise for you guys. 9 hours in, bomb built. There we go. Which does give you, like, you know, a whole bunch of time within the drift, you know, to stop your departure zone, because remember it's a 12-hour jump to get to Traxxas. So it means if you could do that, you can scan them, you can drop out, or stay in drift, sorry, disable the automatic dropout, and then go looking if you find them. So that'd be quite good. Right. Okay, so Zig, what are you doing in the 12 hours? What's the plan?
I think for a lot of it, he's probably just going to be, other than keeping an eye on Edgar, kind of just keeping to himself and just trying his best to come up with what he thinks his plan is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not a huge fan of this not knowing what he's doing.
Okay, yeah.
But
just like wander the ship a bit, I guess, then as
yeah,
well.
So maybe even like wandering to like parts of the ship he's just never been before, just kind of idly.
You probably bump into Ivan along the way as well. He wobbles as you notice him.
Oh, he definitely you know, feeds Ivan some stuff and things.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what stuff and things.
Roll me a D8 as well.
Oh, I've got some flares.
Yeah, thanks.
You will always have some flares.
1d8.
Okay. He as you feed him some flares, he pops out what looks like it's like a pretty big looking bouncy ball. Like it pops out, but like it hits the ground and rolls towards you. And it kind of pops out of him. To pick it up.
Yeah.
Right, you pick it up, and as soon as you touch it, it glows like a torch.
Ooh.
It just emits light.
Yeah. How many flares did I put in?
I don't know, probably 7.
7, cool. Gives me. Yeah, so I guess he would. kind of like wander the halls of the ship, maybe just bouncing the ball occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we have like that the scene of him sitting, bouncing the ball off the floor on the wall and trying to catch it again.
Mm-hmm. Every time, like as
Um,
soon as it leaves your hand, it obviously stops being, illuminated. It's just when you're holding it, it lights back up. So you get this kind of nice lighting effect. If you like bounce, bounce, bounce in dark, grab it, you light up. It's a pretty cool shot. Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
probably like you as you
that's
wander for a
really-
bit. Probably quite disturbing if other people hear the echo of that go through the ship when the comms are dead for like the first 2 hours, right? There's just this thud 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 echoing through the ship every so often, like a rattling noise. It's good. Zara, you said you were going to basically sleep and eat. Nothing else super important for you to do unless you've changed your mind, Gold.
I don't think so. Nah, I don't. Nah, not else.
Okay. Lyko, anything else you want to do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on sort of like agonizing over those files just to make sure I'm absolutely certain that I haven't missed anything or what have you.
Okay.
Just because I think he's gonna take that pretty seriously, and also maybe like can I just wait and see if anything comes up with the computer situation too, because
yeah, I'm gonna have a wee roll on that as well.
Yeah.
I just have a quick couple of.
Cool.
Okay, that's fine.
It's definitely a security issue. And
Yeah.
I am the security guy.
I think after 2 hours, I think you're probably knee deep in like holographic files projected up on your notice board, and she's like walks in and then like goes to knock as if I should have knocked, and then just knocks the frame of the door.
You're already in. What's up?
So and it has been like probably maybe closer to 3 hours now, maybe since you last saw her. She says, I won't bore you with the details because I think I'm going to be dreaming in code tonight. But yeah, someone's changed some of the operating system of the ship runs on, and Finn's a direct product of the operating system because I don't know why some VESC computer engineer somewhere thought integrating the ship's main AI and the ship's core OS was apparently efficient, and you can tell by her tone, she disagrees. So, just looks at you as if that's explained everything.
Okay, let me we are
She actually looks tired. That's like something you notice about her.
when did this can you pinpoint rough estimate of when pinpoint a rough estimate? I know. Can you give a rough estimate of when this change took place?
Well, before we jumped into Drift, Finn broke. And before that, Finn was okay. And she kind of goes, and she'll give like the last date she used Finn, if that makes sense. She goes, I haven't asked him any direct result since then. And she just shakes her head and she shrugs and she goes, it seems like the alterations took place at this time code. Do you want to roll Space Cup for me?
I certainly do. 25.
It was roughly. It was about the time Sindel appeared on the Azure Flare. Roughly, is the only thing that like you can remember about that time period, because it's probably the biggest thing that happened at that point. But beyond that, like it's just like a passing thought that comes into your mind. But there's nothing that would make you think Sindel would be.
No causal link.
Like, no, it's just the most obvious thing that happened was he appeared when it was mind phoned.
Did anything happen here at that time?
She shrugs. She goes, nope.
You working on anything?
Hey, this isn't my fault.
I'm not trying to.
I know you're cop brain. There's her eyes.
What about Edgar? What was he up to? Do you remember? Was he doing anything particular
Yeah.
that time?
I think he was in the shuttle bay waiting on... Well, I think he was just bored, so he was hoping yous were coming back. Oh, and then Weird came back.
Okay. That would make... That's troubling. When did
She brings up a log, because she's obviously been thinking while you've been saying that. She brings up a log and she goes, here's all the biometric data of people accessing things. She just brings up a list and she's like codes something that doesn't register with MD's files. She goes, this is Edgar's, I assume, based on just a list of unsuccessful results. Until like recently, obviously, where, you know, he's been working for like the last 3 hours on and off with the systems where they start to go successful. She goes, so, I hate to say it, but I ain't the dick.
I wasn't necessarily married to the idea of it being him anyway, although repeatedly asking for access to systems would be a great way to cover for the fact that you already had it.
She looks at you and she yawns and she says, kind of with a smile, you know, if that day ever comes though, I'd be the best of the men. She winks and finger guns across the table at you, or the desk.
I look in confusion.
Fair?
Yeah. Can you tell? Can you tell if there was any external access around that time? Any interaction with any outside body at all?
Nope, none.
So whatever wrote this change had to be on board.
She kind of nods. Ivan doesn't have hands. She's like staring through the logs.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go and need to go look at a thing.
I'm gonna go sleep. She just like
Yeah,
lifts herself up off the seat and then just like slowly just walks towards the door.
go rest. I'm gonna do the same soon, but
She just gives you like a thumbs up vaguely behind her and she just leaves.
I think I sort of like tap my fingers on my tabletop for a second, and then get up quite abruptly and walk out the room just after she's gone.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go and check on the bomb that Edgar brought.
Yeah, sure. You head to the armory.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so you head all the way to armory. Probably like as you're like cutting through different parts of the ship, in the background of some of the shots, where you see Zig ambling around in some of the shots. As he's wandering, checking out bits of the ship he's never been to, and occasionally like a bouncy ball in some of the scenes. And
Does it glow only when he's holding it, or
Only
does
when
it
you're
glow
holding
while
it.
it's bouncing? So it kind of like dims as he bounces it, and as he gets it glows. Oh, okay, I like that.
yeah, it seems to react to your touch. So you okay, Cascada, right? So yeah, you get to the armory. You unlock it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you head in, and wherever you sat the bomb is there.
Okay. I will go over to the bomb.
Like the armory doesn't look like anything anyone's been in it since, because I don't think anybody has been in it since. So
That wasn't really his concern.
that's fine. Yep.
Concern was that perhaps the thing could have been a device that would do something.
I'm just taking things you'd notice.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you head over to the big like silver reinforced case thing. Yep. What's the plan?
Is it easily openable?
No. It does not open when you try, at least. It seems to have some kind of a biometrics to it.
Okay, is it anything would recognise? Like, is there anything about the case that would give it away as a certain type?
No, it just looks like a very heavy duty thing. Like the idea that this is the type of piece of luggage that somebody that wanted to make sure something got transported from A to B, even if the ship got blew up.
Yeah,
this is the type of thing you'd want to be able to find. So there is probably a beacon built into this case that you could probably activate as an emergency as well to find it again. It's that kind of level of sophistication in space luggage, but that's probably not that obscure in sci-fi,
No.
right? So
does it seem to like something could potentially broadcast something which could disrupt the ship?
well, it could probably broadcast, which means then MD could put something inside it to broadcast anything, right? So
yeah, that's the sort of thing he's concerned about.
Yeah, there's definitely that concern, because if it can broadcast an emergency beacon, it can broadcast anything.
So,
Can I do a computer roll and scan it with something? Can I go find a scanner somewhere? And
you know what? Yeah, that's my first thought.
yeah, let's see how that goes. Do you want to hit me up with a wee computer roll and we'll see how well you do?
My second thought, so I'll press that and see how bad it is. It's not great. 19.
Yeah, you don't pick up anything. It doesn't seem to be broadcasting anything, luckily.
I want to go to the computers and have a look to see if I can find any indication of anything broadcasting within the ship.
Okay. Within the ship, and what was the other word?
So just on those, I wonder if
Just on that same
were-
kind of line of suspicion, is there any
Yeah.
unusual signals from unusual parts of the ship?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, do you want to give me another computer roll? We'll see how that goes.
Another computers.
Yeah, why
Let's
not?
hope for a better one.
Okay.
It's a slightly better one.
So yeah, you bring up obviously the interface. You do a scan, and you're obviously you're bombarded with a whole screen of data on that subject. And maybe now you're realizing you're not necessarily sure what parts of the ship are meant to be broadcasting what. That's maybe a bit complicated, but you do realize that the armory area seems to be shielded from that. So if it's sealed, signals can't get in or out.
So it's unlikely that it would have been able to affect. Ship.
Yeah, very unlikely, because remember the armory is the hardened area in case munitions explode. Yeah. Hence why you put the bomb here, actually.
Yeah.
So if anything, just by you opening the door and going in is maybe the biggest breach of all. That's it, in terms of what you're putting together from this, because you'll probably bring up the map of the ship that has the. Wouldn't that be lovely for the map of the ship? It brings up the map of the ship that has the big kind of black hole area of the armory space that doesn't have signals because it's a signal black hole. So yeah. So maybe at least alleviates your worry about the case, at least. Beyond that, you're not necessarily sure what is meant to be broadcasting, but
I wonder. I'm going to check.
I suppose the other thing to say would be there's obvious spikes in communication where yous have been talking back and forth on actual comms at any point. So that all does sync up.
That's sort of what I was thinking. Let's have a look at what kind of comms were going on around the time.
Just back and forth between the Azure Flare and the final hour, right? That was about it. It was just what you remember between the two ships from the sessions where we had Weird on that ship. As we're communicating back and forth, and obviously edit out the parts where it was psychic, that other people would be able to know. Obviously, Lyko wouldn't have at the time. That was about it.
Okay. I think Lyko's quite stumped, and he's
the only person on board besides Ivan would have been Weird.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will state. That's the only person that exists.
Here's a shocking piece of faith. I'm just taking it as read that he's not responsive.
That makes sense. Now he's part of the crew, right? He's a chief officer, so
So with that, I think he's going to return this sort of half look over those things again, and half sort of ponder through this problem and see if he can figure anything out.
yeah. Why don't you space cop it?
He's got.
Mhm.
There you go.
I cast Solve Mystery.
I mean, you just reminded me, I do actually kind of have Solve Mystery.
I mean, do you want to cast Solve Mystery?
I'll need to find my skill again.
Because it is a move that you should probably capitalize on while you can, right?
Yeah, let me.
I said that like you were going to lose it somehow, but that seemed way more threatening, and
I actually can't find it there. Do you want to give me a moment while I look that out?
Sure, I'll move to somebody else.
Program then.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Bear with me a minute.
Weird. What do you want to do with your time around the 9 hours? Because you don't need to spend 9 hours solid. You probably would, but if there's anything else you want to do in that time, because we know we've got 9 hours of bomb building, and then that's making sure we know it's going to work, and then there'll be the spare time at the end. So it's that 3 hours of playtime versus the scanning part of the dropping the bomb and then testing it. So minus however long that takes, you've got about 3 hours of free time.
I've got to spend some time working on the sensors to see how confident I am they won't explode.
Yeah. Engineering, I guess. If you want to, yeah. Do you want Edgar's help?
Nah, you can go get me some crisps.
Okay.
Crisps.
Yeah. 46.
I think if anything, right, I'm not going to necessarily RP your character for you here, but if anything, you're probably realizing Edgar shouldn't be this good at integrating all this together. You shouldn't be, because it's like when somebody points out really obvious, if you're ever playing chess and then somebody goes, see, you should have moved here because of this really obvious move, and you go, wait, I never saw that, oh my god, how did I not see that? Like, that level of, that makes why has no one ever done it that way before? But a lot of it's the mysticism application, patching in bits that the science seems to like skip. So like almost like using mysticism as like resistors and shit like that, where other things wouldn't apply. It's like, yeah, in place of actual physical materials to be a resistance limiter here, we're just gonna mysticism this part, and it's perfectly, resolved. This heatsink works 100% efficiency until the magic runs out. So yeah, he seems to have patched into the point where the sensors are like, they are ready to go, essentially. There doesn't seem to be like any issues at all. And you can be quite confident it's a 46. Obviously in the meta we can be very confident they're not going to just blow up. So yeah, seems like he's routed everything to where it needs to go. And you can also see like clever patches where he's like patched things into like weapon heat sinks if there were like redundancy, like blowback from the bomb. So he designed it that any part of the ship that shouldn't be in use at that time that can hold charge or dissipate charge has been designed to, even like the shield grid, which is very concerning things but very efficiently like patched in, where instead of the shields like, encasing the ship, he's designed them to like emit from the ship the excess energy. Same with the weapons, they'll just auto discharge in like random directions to just not have any of the overload energy hit the ship. But that's all like tertiary level redundancies. He's patched it all into the actual heat sinks and the redundancies and the capacitors and everything first, and then into all the backup systems, and then into these things. Yeah, he's done. Well, he's both. I say he's both did a very good job, but you're kind of now realizing the elegance and the cascading system that he's designed. The problem is that you now think he definitely got a lot more access to the ship than you were necessarily aware he was going to get access to. But he's not abused it, he's used it very well to make sure everything goes to where it should be. So it would take something pretty damn big to blow the ship up at this point, in terms of cataclysmic failures. Like, you could probably survive in the sun for about 5 minutes, based on what you've done. The problem is that you'd be nowhere to put the heat because you're in the sun, obviously in that example. But you've done alright, I'd say.
Yep, I will take pictures of this and upload to the CC forums. And ask what the hell this is.
Your upload is pending, unless you want to activate the VESC communication drift network.
No, I don't think that's a good idea.
Okay, dokes. Yeah, not good. Anything else you want to get up to then? Because that probably didn't take too long, right, to check over the sensor grid. You probably just spent more time poring over everything else you discovered. And been like, record this, save this, snip this.
I don't think there's any need to do anything else just now.
Yeah, good. Yeah. I think maybe just meet Edgar in the canteen and he's just sat there with his feet up on the table and there's just a couple of bags of crisps and whatever was left of the bottle Lyco had shown him. He sat there. And he just motions vaguely at the other side, almost victoriously, as he's munching his way through a bag of crisps. So aye. Did you join him or just go over, take out the crisps and leave?
Yeah, I'll take the crisps.
Yeah. Do you stay and chat or do you leave?
I've got nothing particular to talk about.
Yeah.
Really doesn't want for starting conversation. So.
Yeah, so like, I think as like you take the crisps and like head off, I think we just have that shot of Edgar. I'm like, oh, tough crowd. He throws more crisps in his mouth. Yeah, I guess, is there any last things people want to do then before we, deploy the bomb? I guess, because we're kind of at that point, right?
Manhattan away.
Right. Okay. Lyco, you happy to bombs away?
Before we do that, if I've had a few minutes to ponder, 10 minutes of ponderage, and to spend a resolve point, I would like to use my detective's insight to gain an insight as if I had cast divination. So divination, let me get that up. Divination, similar to augury but more powerful. A divination spell can provide you with a useful piece of advice in reply to a question. Sorry, I'm adding words apparently concerning a specific goal, event, or activity that is to occur within 1 week. Casting a spell requires you to expend 1 resolve point, so that's already in my thing. Advice is granted by the spell can be as simple as a short phrase or make the forms of a cryptic rhyme or omen. It says a cryptic clue in the case of the detective one. Anyway, there's a 75% chance for it to work. So
why does astrological sense no work like that? I'm jealous.
I will use that to ask, what is going to happen to the computer system?
Okay.
Flash AI.
Not what has happened, but what.
Well, it has to be something that is going to happen. Apparently, from the phrasing.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
That is to occur is the phrasing, so it presumably can't be. I misread that initially as well.
Is the see the roll? Do you do you know if it's went well? Because I know some of the D&D spells have the GM rolls this.
Yeah, if the die roll fails, the spell failed.
That's
unless
fine.
Specific magic yielding false information as it works. So unless some sort of counter spell does it work.
So we're doing the 1 to 25 or whatever it is as fail.
I mean,
and then the rest is all good, right? Because it's a 75% chance to work, right?
D100, 1 to 25 is a fail.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Damn. I think you're back in that part where because everything you've looked at's kind of been, you've needed subject matter experts really to try and pour through the complicated like sensor data and stuff like that, or signal emitters and stuff. I think that's the problem is when you try and do, how does this all fit together, and you're still back to that point where you're like, I need to ask somebody that knows the ship better than me.
Yeah. Damn. That's really unfortunate.
The best thing is it's probably going to point you to the same person.
Weird.
Yeah. He is head of engineering.
I think while I'm doing that, they're probably doing their bombing run, so I'll ask him after that succeeds or fails. That's
Yeah,
appropriate.
I mean, keep in mind, this could be, you could have been doing this during that the 9 hour stint of them working as well, right? It doesn't need to specifically be, you had a lot of free time.
Sure. If you don't mind me
yeah,
asking them before, if there's enough time, I'll go and do that, just because I'm concerned it could be
It
relevant.
could even
and
just
it
be as
like,
Weird's heading back to probably the briefing room to go over the bomb stuff one last time. Because remember, they've probably just finished. So you could go ask him if you wanted. I don't mind. You can set it whenever you think it makes the most sense.
I will. I know. I think.
Because you probably want to ask him alone, right? So you don't want to ask him when they're
as
working.
he sort of emerged from the briefing room, I sort of wander out, not using the head talk, just because I'm sort of trying to do this all quite stum, and excuse me. I will say to him, Weird. Can I borrow you for a moment?
Yes. What's the issue?
I realize you're quite busy, but
I like that he's holding a bag of crisps as you say that.
Yeah. This computer issue, AI issue, it's troubling me, and I can't find anything that would explain it. Looking at the activity, there's nothing coming in or out that seems like it could be compromising. Edgar's activity doesn't seem like it could be an issue. I've checked the bomb just in case there was any sort of transmitter snuck on board with it. It does have the potential to transmit a signal, but it's not transmitting anything that would get through to the system there. I can't find a single explanation of why. And there's a time period that Alice was able to narrow it down to, and it must have been sometime around. We were on the Azure Flare. Stumped, and you are our tech guy. Plus, you were on board, so I was wondering if you have any idea what could have happened around that period might have affected the AI and the systems.
Now I've got to think out character. Whether I did anything.
Seems what Alice has said, like the operating system was affected, which turn affected Finn rather than the other way around.
So my brain is blanking on what happened.
Would you like me to remind you what you did when you were on board? Yeah, you rewired all the VESC overrides, and then you.
Yeah, I didn't do anything else.
No, there was nothing else. You rewired all that, so it worked on your stuff, and like unpinned all the VESC stuff. But what Alice said to Lyco earlier was, it seems like a lot of the operating system stuff that runs the ship was like some idiot VESC programmer thought integrating the AI software into that was like efficient. So it seems like maybe you've changed a couple of ones and zeros of Finn's at the same time, because it also does the job that you wanted it to do. It just seems to have also been like, this zero can do two jobs, right, in this position, where I'll fix his code and how to turn, the window shutters on and off.
That's stupid.
It's exactly Alice's opinion was, that's fucking like, she's not a happy AI camper.
Yes. No, I instituted the changes that the captain requested. It sounds like that may have had some unintended consequences.
Okay, that's good, because it's a known quantity, so I'm at least a little reassured.
That is a fair, like I would say as well, like you know enough about what you've looked into, right, to know that that is one of the biggest missing puzzle pieces you could probably have imagined, right? It probably doesn't sit perfectly in the missing space you're looking at, but it does fit enough.
I think partly because Lyco is a sort of somewhat paranoid soul, and he's probably looking for someone to very explicitly blame. who has sabotaged our AI.
I love how you took mild offence at Alice calling you out in that bullshit moments ago, and she's like, "I don't blame me, your cop brain."
Hey, I didn't blame her. I was just, I mean, I didn't think it was necessarily even her fault, even if it had been directly
Yeah.
because of her. I didn't see it was. I just, it
Yeah.
occurred to him that was a possibility.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we've got other priorities right now, but that's maybe something we can work on. Or Finn is, he's proven pretty useful. So
As you say that, you hear, "Thank you, sir."
aren't you supposed to be offline at the moment?
There's like a hologram, like where Finn's holding his head under his arm. He looks up at you. I can deactivate if you wish.
No, that's quite. Why are you? Have you been watching plays? I saw that in a play.
Like it flickers and he's upside down.
I sort of look over my shoulder to Weird. What do you think? Leave him on, or maybe?
Okay, as long as he's not following me.
You know
Well,
what, Finn? For the time being, stick around. But you seem to be experiencing some difficulties, so we'll try and address that.
Okay. You hear like electronic disconnect, like kind of noises, almost like internet startup noises. And then he says something in Abylonian. You speak Abylonian?
Actually, I don't know if I do. I don't.
Okay. I think
I was one of the people, right? I wasn't one of the machines.
Yeah. I think. Weird. Do you speak Abylonian? I think you must, right?
Guaranteed. If it's not on my sheet, I've got like 8 spare language
Yeah,
spaces.
I
Yeah.
have a few spare ones, so we can say for.
You could have if
sake
you
of
wanted to.
argument.
Yeah, I think retroactively it makes sense
For
that
the
you'd
sake
have.
of argument, we can say that I know enough of it to pick
Yeah.
out a phrase.
And it's just the equivalent of indeed a person of higher authority is the translation, or affirmative person of higher authority. So basically the equivalent of indeed, sir. But clearly in a language he should not be in.
Huh. Ugh.
It flickers out and off abruptly.
That was I've been saying the word alarming a lot recently.
I thought it might have been nostalgic.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a blast from the past. I didn't particularly like it.
Likely, you also notice a big bomb sitting on the table.
Yeah, your work? Start gesturing. Index finger.
Weird. Applies an uncanny smile. It's just, yes. What do you think of it?
I don't really know that I have enough information to judge, but I have no doubt in your abilities, so
See if I can get you a wee gif of the bomb. Dump it in
here's
general.
hoping. I'm gonna go and get some rest now that I'm a little reassured about the business with the AI. And I think he's more troubled than he lets on about the fact that it spoke Abylonian, because why would the Vesca program that in?
Mm-hmm.
Unless they wanted to somehow be able to interface with the machines directly, maybe, or
Which
something.
that
you know,
phrase
bypass-
itself is upsetting, right?
Yeah. And also, Lyco kind of chafed against that sort of mechanical authority.
Mhm.
Um,
That must be even weirder, right? Hearing the Apollonian tongue, but saying "indeed, sir" to you
yeah.
would be a bit of an inverse from what you'd have experienced. So that would maybe even like uncanny valley creepy. On top of everything, so it was almost dictatorship levels of Apollonian rule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna just go and pass out.
Just go have a shower, scrub off the creepiness, and then go pass out.
Yeah, I could do that. He
Mhm.
probably is due one, so let's do that.
Yeah. Like to believe you're still wearing your gun holsters in the shower as you're like.
No, he's not that 90s Marvel, you know. He's quite 90s Marvel.
He is a bit. So yeah, we have that scene. I think we just skip to the bomb scene, unless anybody's got any objections, because I wouldn't mind ending on the bomb. It sounds fun.
Quite explosive ending.
So I think we're at the part where the bomb is loaded in its deploy zone, wherever that is. I don't know if there is a bomb bay in this ship. I think it would have to be like the other shuttle bay doors that you would just volley out of. So you just clear away the debris from the elf fighter, move that across the shuttle bay, and then just set up the bomb to be dropped from there. And then, yeah, I think Edgar's on the bridge. I guess you're all on the. Whoever wants to be on the bridge is on the bridge too.
I'll be on the bridge.
I will witness
Yeah,
history.
why not?
Okay, we've got like the pat job from the briefing room all the way through up to the.
Witness the day that we destroyed the drift.
But no, I'll still be resting at this point, so I won't rest.
Yeah, you could have like a nap and stuff, like a wee power nap if you wanted.
No, I think he's probably conked out.
Quite frankly, it'll be a glorious moment for the Vesk.
Yeah,
And
saluting through the entire thing.
yeah,
Finn, play the anthem!
I love that it just starts playing bagpipes, and then I love the
Please
idea that
anthem by Blink 182.
the Vesk have just like seeded drift space with some like tester beacons for communication through drift, and you're about to just set a match to that, which I love the idea of thematically. Glorious day for the Vesk. Yeah, so Edgar brings up the panel. There's the big sensor readout that probably him and Weird are looking over, and Alice is probably pouring through code because she's fed up and also doesn't want to miss out on everything blowing up. This is maybe there's 2 hours of drift to go at this point with everything set up and we're good to go. And Edgar says, "Well, Captain, I designed the big red button for you. I know how much you like simplicity." And he brings up the big hollow projector, the big red button. Mm-hmm.
I feel like big red buttons.
Yeah.
I made a bug out of eye.
Mm-hmm.
We've all done something right. This is right, Edgar. I do like big red buttons. Like, would you want to press big red button?
Lyco's in bed.
Yeah, like I wasn't here.
Sorry.
Oh, well, like was fucking fine.
Lyco's asleep, okay?
This is the end of the drift as we know it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks to my press big red button.
Aye, Captain, Admiral, and then slams the button.
Yeah. And it cuts to a shot of the shuttle bay. The bomb drops into drift. We have that nice shot of drift space all around us. Nice swirly blue. And then you see the countdown timer appear. It's for some reason it starts at 9 and counts down. And goes all the way to 0. And then we go to the end of the game. And that's the end. We just cliffhanger right there.
Cliffhanger on a 0.
I was
Wow.
tempted to just play this noise to everybody. Wait
I
for
did
it.
hear it.
Wait for it. It's a longer clip than I expected. It's fine. It's coming soon. Should be soon now. Here we go. Yeah, it was the seismic charge from Slave 1,
Okay.
Boba Fett's ship. That's what it was. It's probably hard to hear, but hopefully it came through on stream.
This is my suggestion.
I love it. So yeah, there's a boom, I guess, is the best thing. And then
What do you mean? There's a bit?
there is a boom, and then there is a credit screen, and that's
Alright, so there is a splash right on the last one, doesn't he? Doesn't he work in? Damn it. Peter Pan reference doesn't work.
Ah. So, what do you want to call the session? I mean, there's bombs away, bombs voyage, de bomb, fin sur le
Blast from the
bomb.
past.
Yeah, blast from the past. Yeah, that's good.
I'm a one.
I have one that's a bit more strained, but
Okay.
I like it.
Let's find out. Yeah.
The alternative was people are stranger when you're a stranger, but I thought that was over long.
It might just fit, but yeah. Because obviously the drift system is pretty long as well, but that's probably fit. Remember with that?
It's just what's like with destroying the drift.
Imagine just next week I was like, guys, I hope you've got your new campaign characters ready, because that was the end of that universe.
Yeah, no more drift.
Yep.
It's now going to take you years to get between planets. Like, if anything, you're like,
Oh dear. 'Cause I think the longest title we've had is still probably. Let me have a quick scan. You won't believe the day I've had, maybe. I think that's the wrong door.
I
Was
like
the
long
first one.
titles. I'm a long titles guy.
So yeah. I'm gonna type in Alex's since you didn't bother because I quite liked it. Blast from the past. That's quite good as well. I'm a vote for you as you vote for you too. You're welcome. It was good. Anybody else? Any other suggestions?
Space Compobulator. I don't know. That's just because caught on to
I'm
it.
gonna vote for Moon Where's the Kaboom.
It's good.
Um,
I think we got one another. We got 3 for Blast for the Past. Oh, we got 4 from Blast for the
sometimes
Past.
even I lose.
It's okay. That's fine. It's you do win a few. To be fair, you usually get a good title. But yeah, so that's those. Let's have a look at the other things we look at, such as goals. Right, talk me through it, guys.
Mine's is still to be discovered. And I can't really think anything else to change it to right now. So we'll
Remember, you're about to get to, well, whatever the hell happens from this, and then if you do get to tracks, it's off the back of it. There's that.
Right, I should change it to Killed Image Gash.
I mean, if you want, it's up to you.
If there was ever a time.
Right, if you're happy as is, Lyco, any goals come to mind?
I was actually going to go for, well, we've solved the mystery, but then I simply talked to a colleague. So I think maybe something to do with the Shakos situation.
Yeah, like follow up on Dr. Helen.
Yeah, like because arguably that ties into conclude the Kivillari case, but that's sort of more of an overarching goal.
Yeah.
Whereas this is more like a specific step in the way to that.
Could even be something as simple as track down Dr. Helen before the week is up, right? It's up to you.
But I'm wondering if that's even something we really necessarily need or want to do.
Probably not, to be fair. I think we know that Weirds, you haven't established your business yet. We've not delivered the egg yet. We've not delivered Edgar yet. We've not discovered what happened to CC yet, but we might next week.
We might do two of those.
Yeah. Conclude the Kivalari case. Speak with the Mogesh and Situation Nocturne. Gain useful MO info. To be honest, that General's Goals list looking pretty good for next week. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's a bunch of stuff you could manage, assuming you get through Drift and get to the Mogesh. Because like, a lot of that happens at Triaxis, or at least after this moment. So, yeah, it's.
Is there anything else that we want to learn after Dumblegesh, and is a Dumblegesh information goal allowed? Because I've had to go like a kind of.
I believe
that was a mouthful, right?
Mogesh.
That was a mouthful, right? But
Yeah.
like, it made complete sense.
a double.
I mean, Dumblegesh.
Double.
Is that legal?
Double.
It just depends on the wording. It depends if it's different enough to count in my head as like a separate like issue. It's like talking to him about like, you know, his hobbies versus talking to him about the war effort, right? Like those are two totally different subjects.
I mean, I'm just thinking about like trying to figure out what his actual main goal is, like here, right? I still want to kind of. He's told us that he's here for the fucking Greg and the yada yada blah blah blah, right? But that's bullshit, right? Like, I'm well wondering if like what he's actually here for, what his actual plan is, like.
Of,
Can I, before we jump into that, like, I'm going to suggest your goal then, Nico. So for Zora, why don't you have hack Demogesh's personal files?
Fantastic, yes.
Okay.
Well, like, get somebody to hack the back personal files, but like, hacking no issues.
It's not.
I look forward to the captain personally doing that.
Yep. With an axe, probably.
Yes.
The files are in the computers.
Yeah.
Right, there we go.
Yep. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is just edit your goal a little bit. There you go. That's a bit better. So, it gives you options, doesn't it? There. It isn't just simply hack, it is just acquire, basically.
So what I need is somebody to give you like a USB stick that the computer
No.
does that like
No, come on.
thing.
No, USB sticks. This is the VESC superior golden age of technology. It's a floppy disk.
Exactly. Yeah. Right, so you need to get like a floppy that does the thing that happens in James Bond film.
To anybody
So-
under 25,
Like-
to anybody under 25, save symbol. Just so you know.
Don't remind me that there are people who don't know what that is.
I know. That sounds quite upsetting.
It's
I know.
honestly very rude to be under 25.
They invented a thing to put your 3D printed safe icons in.
It's just ridiculous. Oh, I love that. Okay, but there we go. Right, we also have... Right, any other goals changing? So, Lyko, you need a goal. What are we going to get you?
I think, could I just put in something to the effect of, you may want me to rephrase this because it's going to be
Okay.
very poorly phrased. Ascertain Shakos' actual situation.
I work out what the end goal of that is. You basically going to work out if she's okay, or
We
what
could,
happened to her.
yes, but also, yeah, like what is not being said, why are her files? It's not just check that she's, not gone all solidified,
Yeah.
or solidified as people normally pronounce it. And also find out exactly what it is that they're hiding about her, sort of thing.
I think acquire clarity from. You want to do this through Dr. Helena, or you want to do it through
I
like
think
always?
he's the main thing, but I think also Babak might be necessary to involve. But I think I want to speak to Salem first.
So
I'm vaguely suspicious.
So why don't you have gain clarity from Shakos, clarity from Dr. Helen or Babak? That's probably
Shakos situation with Salem and or Babak. I'm going to type it like that because that's how I.
Yeah, I'm gonna correct the M that you always add into her name. Just a wee N. There you go. Perfect.
I,
Yeah,
I,
that
I
works.
I like to make things wrong as opposed to right.
It's maybe also just because of Balem as well.
Oh, possibly.
Yep.
Possibly.
I'm across gaming. Yep. Right. Weird and Zig. Keeping goals or changing goals?
Keeping them.
Zig?
Good
I'm gonna keep it.
Okay.
Just now.
Okay.
And see what happens.
Nothing you want to do on Traxxas now?
I think we probably do want to do some stuff in Traxxas, to be fair, but
Just in case there was something in the pile of ideas that you could say.
Slay a dragon. I mean,
I still
we
have the
should
Yeah,
probably
sure.
free up a couple of spaces next time
Aye.
that we can then get to more Traxxas focused stuff.
In theory,
right? 'Cause
1, 2, 3. 3 at least. Just could maybe manage next time. Maybe 4. A massive push of productivity 5. On the
I'm
general
thinking by the
schools.
time we get to Triaxis, we're basically, unless things go drastically wrong, which they will,
Which they never will. No,
we
we're good.
will get the CC goal completed, and we will probably also be able to, like, at the very least, get to Triaxis and therefore deliver Edgar. So I don't think it's being at all optimistic to say we'll get 1 or 2 done. So
Yeah.
there will definitely be spaces.
Yeah. I think these are pretty good, to be honest. You could probably get Edgar delivered, CC, depending on what comes from the bomb. Obviously, you could probably speak to Demogesh if you were super efficient about that and brought your meeting forward. And who knows what happens with MO? Because arguably she's here in Triaxis, right? So, could be a bunch of ones. The only one I think is unlikely, but not, I'm not going to rule it totally out, but concluding the Kivalara case is unlikely, but not necessarily impossible.
I don't think it's going to happen next session, definitely.
Yeah, but
I would say almost guaranteed it's going to take a few yet, but I think it's sort of near enough that I don't want to bump it to the side unless I
No, I think it's fine, because there's nothing super like, from the list I'm looking at, there's nothing major I can see here.
I'm very much open to suggestions, so I don't think we need to keep that one as a top priority, because I do think
Well, we'll see how next week goes, and we can obviously reassess what our blank slots are as well, because we've got goals, everybody's got a goal, which is good. Yeah, quite excited about this. It's good. Wrap up chat time then. Let's start with the captain.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Nico wrap up chat.
Hello.
And today we'll be speaking about how Finn is a wee bit topsy-turvy. Pretty cool. I mean, was it weird? I mean, Anston on you was fucking weird, right? But like, I enjoyed the investigatory, like, Lyco jumped straight down Edgar's throat, essentially.
Yeah,
like
I don't blame him.
I
I just thought he was a possibility that needed consideration.
It's fair. It's fair. I mean, it's fair and wise. And
if I was on board, I would 100% have done the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even Alice was like, it's not even the dick that did it. Like, that was her reply, right?
And I mean, it was probably most likely the changes that were done to the ship.
Yeah, the weird safeguard protocols are probably the reason. Probably.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither. Neither does Finn. So, yep.
Cindy was a joy, as per. His little glass bandage baby was endearing.
Yeah, him talking to it, being like, you'll be fine in a couple of hours. Oh.
Yeah.
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 Good. Yeah. You also kind of captained a little bit, which was nice.
Did I?
A little bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You ordered somebody to come do the piloting role, so.
Oh yeah, so true. I was like, oh yeah, and then I actually rolled like I did a false roll, and I actually was actually
Mhm.
semi decent.
That was alright,
I was
yeah.
I took that. See what happened.
That was literally why Alice used her, Captain taught me delegation. Like,
Yeah,
straight
yeah.
off the back of that.
I was expecting somebody fucking like somebody wise words to come out. Like, I mean,
Sometimes it's
true.
okay to lie to the crew if it's for the good of the crew.
Sometimes it's alright to realise that you can't do computers, mechanics, engineering, investigating. And you just let all the other people do it.
You have hired people to deliver you to the problem.
That's the captain's skill.
Picard was a great captain, diplomat, archaeologist, dancer, musician. Yep. You're not a Picard, it's fine. You're a Kirk.
Which is ironic because he's not, traditionally considered to have been a giant lizard. And in fact, famously, he went out to those rocks that all the films are set in, and there was one there, and he had to punch him for a bit and then stopped.
Yep. Oh dear. Anything else, buddy?
no, that's it. That's fine.
Good. Weird?
I enjoyed not having destroyed the ship.
It's pretty good. You rolled really bloody well this week, by the way.
Yeah. On that.
That was good. Really good.
I definitely did ruin Finn.
Definitely not crime.
Yep. I like the fact that nobody has yet to question any of that. That's good.
You didn't technically lie. You didn't technically lie once, which I was waiting on. I was like, okay, no, he's good. I think he is good. He's flat toned enough, and he's explained it in just enough obscurity that it's all legit so far. Yep, good.
You could question it instantly, but it's honest too dumb to question it.
Yep, there's nothing to see here. No, I've almost got a working relationship with Edgar.
Yeah.
Which I mean, he has crisps, and I want crisps.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate managerial position you've got right now, right?
Right.
Sit back. Need some crisps.
Well, he's like he's a chief officer now, so having staff's the goal, right? Plus, that's why I wanted to have that part where like I'm glad you rolled super well on the sensors check thing, because it gave me an excuse to give you like some like exposition on just actually how good he has been at his job.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where you're like, wow, this is actually like triple safe. Like, yeah, the amount of redundancies he's built into, like, clearly you can tell why he was good with weapons as well, as he knows this ship inside out in terms of, I know this ship would have shields, so we can use the shield emitters to just vent energy. We can also use weapons to vent energy. Anything that overloads, find a way to get it out of the ship. So yeah, if something goes wrong, the ship's going to go very, very fast, very quickly, firing every weapon with the shields on the opposite direction. It's like plows more than anything else as they vent energy into space. So it's going to be a very interesting moment if something goes very wrong when we start the next session. The ship should, as I said, it should survive a lot of things. Will it survive the destruction of drift space? Probably not. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting though. I mean, we did that.
It's alright, it's for the
But
achievement.
we end up getting sued by Star Trek if that happens, so we might not want to do that. Right. Wait.
It's okay. I think we're okay. We've not mentioned about different speed limits that cause it to blow up, so we're good.
Right, okay,
We're good
cool,
for now.
good.
Yeah, we're quite on this side of the lawsuit so far. We're not Star Trek Discovery after all, that's for sure. So, also, if I have accidentally ripped off anybody's Steam game, by the way, according to the lawyers of whatever they're called, CBS or whatever it is, actually on Star Trek, I apologise. It's all a matter of my own fictions. Blah 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 blah. Legalese here, because dear God's Discovery.
And a character that might be related to a character that you've seen that's not related at all. Yada yada.
Good, perfect.
Copyright. Dot.
Yeah. Exactly.
JPEG.
Yeah. PNG. Anything else weird?
I'm thinking of anything.
Yeah.
Oh, that was really good. Well done, guys.
Yeah.
We haven't destroyed everything.
Yeah.
Yes, good. We got
The
him
world
before
would be a
Galas
better
did, man.
Take that, Urgalas. I almost forgot all about Urgalas this week. Been like, oh yeah, that's another thing the party have to deal with at some point. It was a nice non-Urgalas
It's
week.
fine. Ergolas will be just like floating through the drift, and then the bomb will just appear right in front of him. And
He's only
he'll
got
be
mind
fine.
powers, right? Right? He's only got mind powers. Like, easy. Dealt with
Yeah.
that before, bud.
As Colin would say, I cast gun. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
I think I cast gun actually refers to like cocking the gun probably, but I think you can I cast gun for any action involving the gun, shooting it, buying it,
Yeah.
hiding it under a trench coat.
Yeah. Speaking of,
Sorry.
though, Zig.
Yeah, it was grand.
Mm.
For Finn.
Yeah.
Justice for Finn.
I stand
And
for
then
him.
when and then when Weird is incarcerated, justice for Weird.
Just as he cracked such a
Buddy.
good joke as well.
That's probably what broke him. That overloaded the systems.
Oh, it was great. It was good to press the big red button. Not gonna lie, felt quite honored and
Delegation. Yep.
Delegation.
Now legally he can
yeah.
blame you. So good.
And yeah, it was just nice to kind of have everyone back in the loop, and I'm sure there was a Tales from the Loop title joke in there somewhere. Ugh.
There's time.
There's time.
There's definitely time.
There's always time.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. I liked your little Ivan moment as well, just feeding him some flares as well. That was nice.
It was nice to see
feed him
Ivan
more.
again. He's missed
Yeah.
in my day-to-day.
He's a good one. I just need to remember he exists every now and then because I forget he's just wandering the ship. Yeah.
He's like basically a blob of everything. We should be taking advantage of that.
As he's just slowly wandering the ship, unsupervised. Yeah.
You just need to ask him for what you want, by the way. I don't even know if I've explained that to everybody yet.
I don't think you have at all.
I don't think I have, but you just need to ask him. It's amazing.
Oh dear. So good. Yeah. Anything else there, Zig?
I don't know. It was just nice to get some juicy Octurne lore, backstory, creepy horribleness. I'm intrigued to see what's there or not there. Or yeah, it's all scary and horrible and.
So I like how the story chain has been. Urgalas has been seen at Octurne. That's upsetting. The Radiant Supreme said the stranger has awoken. That seems weird. And then you've got the knowledge about Breervath were on Octurne long ago, and then you go, oh, that's a bit strange, and it seems like Edgar's a Breervath. Okay, interesting. And then you've got the wait. Why does the Bone Sages don't? Why are they uncomfortable at Breervath? What's that about? And then you go to try and work out why that relationship exists, and then you learn the Breervath like fled Octurne because of things they were uncomfortable with. So it's just slowly scaling up that mystery, which I quite like. It's been quite fun to like lore bomb with, to be honest, as opposed to drift bomb. Maybe lore bomb would have been a good session title actually, but yeah, there'll be plenty more
Next
bombs.
time.
Yeah, there'll be plenty more bombs.
There will always be another bomb.
Yeah.
There's always a bigger bomb.
Hey, anything else, bud?
This week bomb.
No, I don't think so.
I tried to keep it kind of
mean,
Zig light
without
because of
repeating
your
everything.
throat, of course. You'd said you were a bit
Yeah, I
iffy on the voice.
appreciate that quite a bit.
Yeah, because you were quite Zig heavy before, so I figured we'll try and keep it a wee bit Zig light this time.
Lose a few pounds.
Yeah, just to get through the drift quicker, you know. No good. And Lyko.
Lyko. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, that was an exciting little mystery that wasn't much of a mystery, but nonetheless was puzzling to Lyko.
It was good to solve a bit, like, obviously I say solve loosely, but like it was good to get like through that one quicker than say things like the Kivalari, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been really nice if I could just have fucking got it from the roll, but
Mhm.
the roll gods do not always provide.
No.
And yeah, like that was all in all rather nice. It was quite productive, right? I think we got some information from I'm forgetting Edgar
Mhm.
regarding Octurne and the beer bath.
Mhm.
We obviously got back to the chat. We did the link, finished up and dropped the bomb. So
Mhm.
yeah, like we moved around a bit. We got stuff done. And it again felt like sort of there was a lot going on for a lot of people in this particular one.
Yeah, everybody was like busy, right? Everybody had stuff to do, even if
The
it...
captain went for food.
Food and asleep.
I know. Well, that's the thing. You're the captain. You tell other people what to do, which you did do. So yeah, it was a
Certainly
good one
done
for
that.
that as well. Yeah, I enjoyed myself, and I look forward to exploring. Well, particularly wrapping up the Kivalari. Be honest with you, that's sort of the number one thing on my mind. Not in Lyco's, because obviously in Universe there are a million other things that seem more pressing at the moment. But he also sort of knows that that's tied up with these things somehow. Plus, it just obviously he's a sucker for a mystery, and this is a mystery involving people he knows, and yeah. So for me particularly, like that's the thing that's like, oh man,
Yeah.
get back to Kivalari. But I'm excited for Triaxis as
Yeah, that'll be good.
well. Sorry, I'm flagging a little. Yeah, I think that's about that.
Oh, good. That's good. No, it was good. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed your chat with Edgar. I enjoyed obviously head of security Lyco, which is always good. I did a lot of that this week, which was good. Enjoy any time MD talks to Alice. Generally, that's usually a delight. Nice to see Alice actually like be tired for once. Instead of like peppy and perky all the time, she was like, I am very, very tired now. Almost like she's forgetting she doesn't quite have the energy she used to. So yeah, nice to have a wee bit of her, being her usual and unusual self. But besides that, guys, I thank you very much for playing. I'm excited to see what happens after the bomb. And yeah, I'll see you all then. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody.